yesterday. I was texting with Bob Costas yesterday.
Is he coming on?
No. I was trying to get him on the podcast. He won't come on the show, you know that.
No.
I guess that would be hijacking.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I was going to say it earlier because, Tim, I don't know, you brought it up before you talked about Gottlieb. You said one of the questions you had yesterday was about how media has changed.
Okay.
And when I asked him if he'd come on the podcast, I mean, he's always been nice to me.
You have a regular podcast now?
No, but when I have something.
You were going to start a podcast with Bob Costas.
I tell him my podcast. Well, what am I going to tell him?
You don't even have a regular podcast, and you were asking him.
I say podcast. What am I going to say, Bob? Can you come on straight to the web with Iggy?
Yeah, honestly, where were you? I was thinking you were doing this for my podcast.
TMASTL.com.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, rates are high, but you're still finding a way to get people a good mortgage. How do you do it?
You know, we work really hard for our clients. We watch the markets. We watch the rates. They swing a quarter point a day some days right now. And that's why you need an expert to lock you in at the right time. And then we have these incredible programs like our interest rate rewind, where for the first year, your rate will be 2 full points lower. The second year, a point lower. And then year 3, it goes to the current rate. Thinking about buying a house? Maybe a refinance? Got questions? Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Where in the world is Tim?
Oh, they're going to be so pissed, Doug. They're going to be pissed.
There it is.
Oh,
I was ready to leave.
that's not Tim. Oh, go ahead, Jackson.
Jackson will kill it, but where's Tim?
Everyone's got their thoughts out. All right.
Okay.
You're listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
That's right.
Mungan 7 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan right now is ill. We hope he feels better soon. He texted me this morning that he's ill and will not make it in. So it'll be the big four: Douglas Elvin Vaughn, Ken Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk. I'm Action Jackson. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Mungan 7 o'clock hour. Get involved. You know, a lot to talk about. You can get involved on the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox. You can call in on the Steve Schmidt Kia of North County phone line. That number is 636-900-4TMA. If you want to text in, the number is 314-881-TMA5. And, of course, you can watch on our YouTube channel, YouTube.com/TMASTL. We're live right now. We're looking naughty, looking super naughty.
Is Tim there?
No, he's not here.
Tim is not here, yeah. So get your texts in now.
No.
Where's Tim? Not listening. Yeah, I've heard it 1,000 times. It's funny. It's
But
fun.
we love
it's
it
funnier
every
the
time.
more.
We love it every time,
Right,
though,
it
Doug.
gets funnier, which is the fun thing about it. But regardless, a little Sadie Hawkins to kick us off this morning, Doug. A Monday Sadie Hawkins, your
Okay.
favorite.
Well, what are the choices, please?
You got the Tigers and their loss to Kentucky.
Yeah.
You have the extension of head coach Eli Drinkwitz.
Right on cue.
Yeah, you have.
Right on cue to lose a horribly played game against a team that played even worse than you did and still somehow beat you.
have a feeling I know what you're going to pick. The Astros win the World Series.
Cardinals shore up their coaching staff, right? And that was
Matt Holliday is the new bench coach, as reported by Carnegie Strode yesterday morning.
that was beautiful, though. You went sports take.
Well, I got the release. So.
It wasn't even a take. Yeah.
Just 3 words or 4 words.
There was no hashtag STL cards. It was just.
I just said, hey, he's back.
Did you break into programming with that?
I just tweeted it out. I'm not breaking the news. I got a release from the Cardinals, and I just put it on Twitter.
I looked at that, and
I beat some of the rights holders, though. So.
You did.
You did. Yeah, you were first. Then we have the Blues taking on the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Is this the first time they're going to be back in Boston since Game 7 of the 2019 Stanley Cup?
They were there last year, weren't they?
I don't know.
Well, it's going to be a different
don't
result,
know.
I think.
I expect they've been there since
I'm sure they play them
3
every year.
years since.
Makes me feel better
Well,
that we're not sure.
They don't get a home and home every year with all the teams from the Eastern Conference.
Don't they?
I think they play them at least once, but it's not always a
I
home.
thought they always played them twice.
Text in if you know when the last time the Blues
When
played
have we
Boston.
played in Boston?
There's no way to know at this point. There's no resource we can go to look that up.
And then, of course, the local hoops clubs tip it up tonight. Missouri taking on Southern Indiana. SLU takes on somebody.
Southern Indiana.
It'll be a rugged bunch that they
Let me
face.
look at who...
SLU takes on somebody. I don't know if the Illini are playing. Of course, my focus is on one.
They play Murray State.
That's right. They play the Racers.
Oh,
I did know that.
That's
They
a
play-
legitimate team.
That is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a real team. So we got that. And, of course, coming up on the Captain's Log today, we'll have the Colonel, Gabe DeArmond, to talk. We'll have all our Mizzou questions at 9 o'clock, presented by James Carlton. And the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. All right, Doug, pick your dancer.
By the way,
Who's on
before,
your dance card?
before number 23, Illinois, does face off Big Till, Eastern Illinois Panthers.
Oh,
8 p.m. tip.
EIU.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tony Romo,
They look good Saturday.
Sean Payton, Jimmy John, the founder of Jimmy John's, my
Jimmy
aunt,
G.
my uncle, all proud Panthers. All right, Doug, who's your dance partner?
I guess it's Joey Logano winning the NASCAR title.
Right.
Second time.
I left it off. I left it off the docket, and that's on me.
You guys don't watch?
I saw the end.
Oh, second time he's won.
Chris Nagel has got one round left to try and get some Corn Ferry Tour starts.
Is he?
Shaking off
Okay.
his defeat against us.
He's got, I think he's sitting in 13th place.
It's a bounce back number.
Has to get into the top 10 to get 8 more Corn Ferry Tour starts. If he wins the tournament, obviously he's exempt for the whole year at the Corn Ferry, but top 10 gets 8 more starts. He's already got 4, so that'd be 12 starts if he get on the Corn Ferry Tour, so it's a big day for Chris.
I've been following Nagel Tracker
Yeah.
all weekend.
Yep, love Nagel Tracker.
So we didn't just
Hey,
crush
Doug,
your
I got a
spirits.
question for you.
Yeah.
When we win the Open, will you please free dot him?
There he is.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
There he is.
What up, Nagel?
That wasn't on the Sadie Hawkins. I decided to throw that out there for people that are following
Hey,
Chris.
Good.
listen.
Neither was Illinois playing Eastern Illinois, but
Doug,
we brought it out there.
Doug is the boy here. He's selecting, or he's the princess, and he's selecting his prince. So
He selected Joey Logano. Let's break it down. Who
he
did
drove
he beat?
fast. He drove hard.
He did a real
Yes.
fine job.
Beat Jeff Gordon?
And his team, his whole team. I'd like to thank everybody involved with Logano Racing.
Jeff Gordon.
Jimmy Johnson
I think Jeff Gordon is an analyst and was on the call. So
The
Probably
24
was there.
car.
Yeah.
He raced as number 24.
DuPont.
Yeah, I
So
believe
Doug, about
he beat
Logano.
Big Daddy Don Garlitz to the finish line to capture his second NASCAR title.
Had that Pennzoil
You've been sitting on that take for a minute now. Drove in
Well,
all the-
I guess Mizzou is the lead.
There it is.
I guess that's the biggest story.
Yeah.
Matt Holliday's kind of big, but not as big as Mizzou.
Right. It's easier to break down the Tiger game than it is
Right.
what Matt Holliday's going to do as a bench coach. The Tigers lose to the Kentucky Wildcats in heartbreaking fashion. About 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Kentucky is getting ready to punt. The snap flies over the head of the punter.
Yeah, absolutely did.
The punter runs, about as long as Plowsy did in his mile run to get to the ball, picks it up, takes one step to the right, and attempts to punt it. He, of course, was tackled. Was that Chad Bailey who came out on the tackle?
It was one of those ornery Tiger defenders.
Yeah, I think it was Chad Bailey. I could be wrong. But
He did punt it.
he got the punt off, and flags come flying, and a roughing the kicker is called. Kentucky gets the first down. Mizzou gets the ball back with about 2 seconds left. They try a super lateral play, of course. It does not work, and the Tigers lose again in heartbreaking fashion. Your thoughts, Doug?
I guess the one thing you won is that rule changed. to where if a punter's running around after a loose ball and just goes to the punting motion that you can't tackle him, you can't hit him then, it seems like you should be able to. Like if the snap is not clean, the punter's fair game.
Well, if you look at it, it's not exactly the same thing. They protect the punter because, when your foot's in the air and you can't protect yourself, that's what they try. That's what they try to do.
Yeah.
That's why there's roughing the kicker.
I understand that.
Well, it's the same with the quarterback. They try to protect the quarterback, but once he gets out and starts running, you can hit him.
He becomes a ball carrier.
So I don't know why this guy can run 40 yards backwards, grab the ball, and all of a sudden now is the guy going after him supposed to stop? Okay.
Right.
Go ahead and punt. I'm not going to touch you.
And that's what Drink was saying. We have the audio of Drink, and I'd like to hear that because I think it gives a good look into it. Here's what Eli Drinkwitz said about the roughing the kicker.
Hit the lever plows.
The explanation that I was given was that the ball was snapped over his head and that the ball was still in the tackle box and that he was still a protected punter when he picked up the ball. So how a guy can still be a protected punter 50 yards down the field and how our guy is supposed to know that he can't tackle him is beyond me. But I'm sure I'll get an explanation, and I'm sure it'll defend him, and we'll go from there. It doesn't change the fact that we were 2 for 13 on third downs, but I don't get that, but it is what it is. I mean, they're rewarded for a huge mistake. The young man was able to kick the ball, at least give us the ball at the 30, but they snapped the ball over the head and they reward him with the first down. I mean, just.
And you got to keep that long sigh.
There was a long sigh.
The punter not only got tackled, he got hit so hard they needed a cart to drag his carcass off the field.
It looked like his right leg.
Look, that was
over the guy. That was. I really do feel bad for him, and he's the hero of the game. I mean, if he doesn't get that kickoff, Mizzou has the ball at the 1 with 2 minutes left.
Apparently, if he makes any attempt to look like he's running, then he's fair game.
Right, and that's what I just don't get is it goes over your head, so you're still inside the hash marks. So does I can't believe that the tackle box extends all the way up or down, I should say, from the line of scrimmage down the field, because at that point, if you're a quarterback and it's third down and you're about to get sacked, you just run backwards, try to kick it. If they touch you, is that roughing the kicker? Where's the line stop? I understand protecting the punter, but how do you teach a player when the ball is snapped and goes over their head? How am I supposed to? How is a defender supposed to defend that? He becomes a ball carrier at that point.
guarantee that's never been brought up in practice ever.
No.
But by any team ever? Like, how could anyone ever? And then he steps outside of the hash mark to kick the ball. I think a lot of people were saying, well, he's still inside the hash mark. He stepped outside the hash mark when he kicked it.
That was the worst. That was a terrible officiated game. So Mizzou has, and fans have every right to be pissed. I mean, those were terrible calls.
And Drink's right. They were 2 for 13.
That was going to be my point next.
You're not going to win many games like that.
Yeah, Drink, luckily for him, brought it back to earth. I mean, Missouri played terrible.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, that should be. Missouri should have had a chance to win that game. That was a terrible call.
But Kentucky played worse.
Yeah, it was almost like watching that Vanderbilt game, to where
who's going to mess up the
who wants
least?
to win it, and it seemed like no one. And it reminded me so much of that game.
I know we talk about that play, and that was, they'd had the ball in the 30. People think, we'd had it on the 1 yard. No, he kicked the ball. He got the ball off.
Yeah, he ended up getting the punt off.
So you had it on the 30, and they probably wouldn't have scored anyway.
That's true. They were terrible. They looked terrible.
But the play that I don't understand is the fumble, that they called a fumble, and then they went to the replay, and if anything, the ball was moving as he hit the ground, and then the ball came out. You can't overturn that. I mean, if you would have called it down by contact, and you see the ball moving a little bit, probably not enough to overturn it, but it was called a fumble. And then they looked at it, and you could see the ball was moving, and they said, after further review, he had the ground caught. No, it didn't. You can't overturn that. You'd have had the ball, and then they end up scoring on the next 2 plays later. So just some bad calls.
I'm so tired of these zebras.
It was bad. It was a horribly officiated game.
And then
how about the play where one Mizzou guy goes to the Kentucky sideline, they all get in a fight, like one Mizzou guy against all the Kentucky team, and the Mizzou guy gets the penalty.
What do you got?
The only penalty goes to Mizzou.
You got to have offsetting penalties there, and I don't care. You can pick a number. You can pick a walk-on that doesn't even have pads on. You got to pick a number, and it's got to be offsetting, so no one gains an advantage. And just a little scuffle, they hate each other. Brady Cook experiment has to, like, is Sam Horn a real person?
Yeah.
Is he still like AI and you're trying to like get some kinks?
He wears number 21. It's a little weird.
Dude, after you fumble that ball on a pump fake, to me, you're done. Your quarterback career is almost over at that point when you do that. 'Cause that was beyond like what I can comprehend. He pump faked it and dropped it, and easily could have gotten it like. Dude, Sam Horn has got to play.
But if you're Drinkwitz,
at this point, you're not going to make a bowl.
If you're Drinkwitz, you're desperate for a win, and you still think that Cook gives you a better chance than somebody who hadn't taken a snap.
What's the indicator there? What have you? I guess what has he seen that goes?
Probably
he can make a game-winning drive because he cannot.
He's probably seen something in practice that tells him Sam Horn is not ready.
Right.
Oh wow, playing against the second-team defense, man,
well, I
think stud.
I think there's something to. But Brady Cook's mobility, I believe, is what it put him over the top to get the starting job. And you saw, the touchdown run he had in the fourth quarter was really good. I mean, it was a nice spin move he put on, got to the end zone. A play a lot of fans are looking at is not challenging the first down spot Kentucky got when Chris Rodriguez was about a yard and a half short of the yard to gain or the line to gain. That's not to say they wouldn't get it on 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, whatever it would be, but that was certainly odd. But yeah, I mean, Brady Cook, it might not be like the prettiest thing. He's had some bad performances. I'm not going to, he was bad against Kentucky. But at this point in the season, I believe that they need wins, and I think that they think that Brady Cook is the best quarterback they have to get wins.
Doug, did you watch the whole game? Okay, because this is like a key series. Remember that guy that was 15 yards around nobody? And Brady was rolling the opposite way. I think he was rolling left. And just, this dude was wide open. First down plus probably 15 or 20 yards of running. And he misses him. Like, he's literally wide open. There's no defender in Brady's face. There's no defender near. It's a high school type throw to where the guy is running to the sidelines. Just throw it to him. He'll go up the sidelines. He can't hit him.
He doesn't have the accuracy. He's got everything else. He's got size. He's a good runner. He's a tough guy. He just doesn't have the accuracy.
Your best receiver, looked like he was just about to explode on some of those throws.
He did. There's a couple of them. He was like, he put his head in like, God, can't this guy throw a ball?
He literally just did one of these and just walked off the field. That shows me like there's no confidence outside of Drinkwitz has confidence in Brady Cook. That's it. Like I don't think the players have a hell of a lot of confidence on the outside that they're going to get an accurate ball.
Well, their punter won the game for him. Our punter pretty much lost the game for us.
Stonehouse
dropped a ball, and instead of he had plenty of time to kick it. I'm just going to take off and run.
I love that.
You had plenty of time to kick. You had more time to kick it than their guy did.
Yeah. Let's head to the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox.
Oh.
Fellas, it's almost like Missouri sucks. It's from Nate in Tallahassee. Mr. Licks joined the conversation. No one better bitch about the roughing the kicker. It was roughing the kicker. Get over it. Even if they get it back, Mizzou isn't scoring. Cry me a river. That's Mr. Licks.
Well, the more likely play that you'll see is if the punter drops the snap and then picks it up and kicks it again. And just that amount of time often will allow the defense to come up and get a good rush on him. But I suppose even if that happens, if you drop the snap and pick it up and punt it and you get hit, that's roughing the punter too.
Yeah. Right. It's a weird rule. It's definitely not the spirit of the rule. Even if the rule was called correctly, if everything was called correctly, that the spirit of the rule is not to protect a punter 50 yards down the field after a missed snap. That's not how the rule should be called. And I think it's a tough play because A, you can't challenge it. There's nothing Mizzou can do on their end. And B, the kicker is down there with half a leg. As a ref, you're in a tough spot too. It has to be a reactionary call, and it's tough for the refs, but it's really tough for Mizzou because similar to the Auburn game, it's like, what happened? Like, the ball gets missnapped. I'm watching the game. I'm going, all right, here we go. Like, they're either going to score, they're going to pick it up and score right now, or they're going to get the ball at the 1 yard line. The guy kicks it. I'm like, all right, ball at the 40-ish. Instead, Kentucky gets a first down And it's like, oh my God.
I think
you could tell nobody knew the rule because
Right, clearly.
if the punter knew the rule, he'd have kicked it out of the end zone for a safety. And whoever it was that tried to block it,
Will Norris. We got a couple times.
Yeah,
Will Norris.
I mean, he tried to tackle him. He could have very easily just went for the ball and tried to block the kick, but he tried to tackle him. And because, if I tackle him and he doesn't get the punt off, he could very easily just put his hand up there and block the thing.
I think the officials and the people that make the rules would probably tell you to see what happened to that punter when he got hit is exactly why the rule is in place.
Right.
Because he got leveled and he got badly injured because he was in a position kicking the ball where he couldn't protect himself and somebody just laid him out.
Yep.
So that's why the rule is there.
Yeah, we got a text from Long Balls here, and this is the natural next topic. Can we get some takes on the Drinkwitz extension? 2-year extension for Eli Drinkwitz. I figured the Plowhawk would have plenty of takes. I was playing golf on Saturday morning, and it was the Hawk was up, Doug.
Yeah.
It was like
bad
playing,
day to play.
It was like playing in Scotland, but a tough day condition. So I was watching the game. I was figuring the first time Mizzou messed up, I would see a fan page post from Plowsy saying good extension or something like that.
I mean, I was active, but I think everybody was in shock. And granted, this is college football. These buyouts now, nobody finishes a contract as a coach. So it's really just window dressing. If you want to make a change, make a change. I just think it's weird. I thought there was no place in this season that you have confidence going forward in this guy. Not saying he's going to get fired at the end of the year, but giving him an extension, there must have been some recruits or current players that there must have been rumblings of transferring, leaving, like they wanted security for their head coach. And I think that may have been the only way.
No, I think it's pretty simple. I mean, it's not a coincidence that he signed it the day after Baker signed his. I mean, I'm pretty sure Baker said, I'll sign the extension if Drink gets one.
That could be the case. To me, it seems like kind of to what Plowsy's saying is like they just want security for recruits because recruits clearly like whatever Drink is selling. I mean, he brought in a really solid class last year. He's looking to bring in another solid class this year. Clearly, to me, it just seems like they just want to put some more security on that for recruits. And like we said, just because someone signs an extension doesn't mean they're going to be there the entire time. If anything, the buyout just got a little more expensive, but we don't even know that. So,
for that to be the case,
it's a less of a story than it probably seems to be.
I mean, because kids can go to the portal whenever they want. I don't think they even care if the coach has got. Well, he's only got 2 years left. I don't care for 4.
I think I'm with Iggy too.
More so for 17 and 18-year-olds, not necessarily for players.
Yeah, but for that to be the case, then these 17 or 18-year-olds had to go to the curators or the boosters and said, hey, we're not coming if you don't sign them. I mean, that didn't happen.
It could just be coming from a recruiting coordinator, because they have contact with these guys all the time.
It could also just be a case of Mizzou incompetence. Because we've
certainly
certainly seen plenty of that in basketball and football. They don't know what they're doing. They just rewarded a coach who's below 500 and gives you almost no hope at all of competing against the big boys in your conference. So why wouldn't you lock him down?
And I'm not saying Josh Heupel would have taken any position at Mizzou anyway. So I don't like to bring up former coaches at Missouri that are having success. I brought up a scenario on the fan page, got killed for it, which I don't mind. I want to make sure that I let you know I got grilled for it. Yeah. But
I posted on the fan page and got killed.
What happens maybe on this offseason, but Blake Baker puts up another top 10 defense next offseason, and now you have teams coming in, throwing 5-year contracts at Blake Baker. Does Mizzou look at that and go, okay, well, you can go. We're going to keep Drinkwitz. To me, Blake Baker is absolutely loved by all the players, and it seems like the fans love him way more than they love Drinkwitz. And I think the extension is weird because you're going to choose Eli over Blake Baker. And to me, Blake Baker is kind of that next wave of really young defensive style head coaches. I mean, you see Kirby Smart and what he's done with Georgia. And I just think if you miss out and lose this guy and hold on to the fascination that Drinkwitz is this offensive guru, and then you look 3 or 4 years later, Blake Baker just taking a program like Nebraska promise. And then you're left with this foe. Eli Drinkwitz is a fraud, bro. He is not an offensive guru. It's just not happening.
Here's the one thing I thought. And before I say this, I want to make sure this is still the rule. But you're allowed 2 personal foul penalties before you get kicked out of a game, right? In college?
Right. So if you get
You get one personal foul. It's okay, that's his first.
Right. If you get like a unsportsmanlike conduct, you got one more.
Yeah, and here's what I was thinking. When they had 2 penalties on Kentucky, both 15-yard penalties, and one was on Wright for a personal foul, and the other one was, I don't know what it was, holding or something. It was a 15-yard penalty. They declined the one on Wright and take the 15-yard. Why don't you take the one on Wright? Because if he gets one more, he's out of the game. And he may play differently because I already got one personal foul. I can't play hard because if I get another one, I'm out of the game. It maybe changes the way their best player plays. Why not accept that one and not the other one? It made no sense to me.
I think regardless of if they accept the penalty or not, it's the penalty. The personal foul counts still.
No.
It's not?
No, it was. They didn't say anything about that's his first one because they declined the penalty, so there's no penalty.
Okay, I'm not sure. That's like I said.
I just thought of that because isn't it a no-brainer? You take that one
if they're both
15-yarders.
Yeah. Text here from Kevin's brother Jack Demoff, and I think this is a pretty good representation. Sorry to repeat my text from earlier, but to say that they can't compete isn't true. Mizzou has lost 4 SEC games by a combined 18 points. There are no moral victories, but it is somehow encouraging. And that's true. I mean, every single SEC game they've been in. Now they got Tennessee next week. We'll see if that.
We'll see how in that game they are.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Even though with Tennessee coming off of a disheartening loss between the hedges, but Neyland Stadium's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, break here or there, they've got one loss.
Right. I mean, they
or they have another loss at Vanderbilt. On top of what
Dude, they need an offensive coordinator. I hope to God that Drinkwitz can see that and get somebody who can call plays. Like, stick to recruiting, stick to the rah-rah stuff, stick to the post-game, pre-game talking points. But, like, when it comes to the game, like, you just got to have somebody calling the plays. And I realize Brady Cook is
open
not
to
great,
that.
but
Drink has said that he's open next year to somebody taking over play calling. And
I
I think
think
that's encouraging.
that.
I think that's that shows growth, if anything else. Again, a lot of text. It isn't a personal foul that gets you kicked out. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and you only get 2. So it seems like the only time that targeting is automatic. If they get called for target,
isn't a personal foul, and what's the difference? I mean, if you hit a guy out of bounds, that's a personal foul. And what's the other? What's the
unsportsmanlike conduct? I believe you get 2 of those. Then you're out.
I don't know what the difference in the 2 are. They're both.
Personal foul probably involves hitting someone else.
Like roughing the passer doesn't give you
no,
one
you
more
don't have a count on
yeah,
that.
No.
but that's a personal foul.
Yeah.
Right. So I think
Unsportsmanlike is if you taunt somebody.
Right.
That's worse than a personal foul if you hit a guy in the head.
Well, targeting is an automatic
No, I'm
ejection.
talking about if you go after the quarterback or something, you try to hit him and you hit him in the head, that's a personal foul.
Well, taunting and unsportsmanlike conduct are 2 different penalties.
But a taunting would be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
You should be able to taunt everybody.
We need a zebra in
You should be able to.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. That's
like, give me the XFL when it came to that.
Refs call in.
Yeah, I get that it could escalate things pretty quickly.
Yeah, all refs.
Yeah, I don't understand how unsportsmanlike conduct would be better. I mean, I think taking your helmet off is an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yes.
So why is that worse than a personal foul where if you rough a quarterback or something, not targeting, but roughing the quarterback's a personal foul.
Shouldn't be.
Right.
But that's not as bad as an unsportsmanlike conduct?
Like I said, refs call in.
Yeah, refs call in.
So can Missouri beat Arkansas? I know they lost the Liberty. Is there a scenario that happens?
I think if it will be for a bowl game, so.
I mean, Kentucky played a horrendous game.
Really bad.
They had a penalty every other call.
Yeah, they were.
And they still came away with the W. I mean, they were not good. I watched it happen. I couldn't watch it anymore. I drove all the way to Winsfield to swap out a sweater with John Juan.
Oh, my God.
We got him a sweater for Christmas, too small. We got him another one that was the right side. I chose to do that than to stay and watch the third quarter.
For Christmas?
I couldn't watch it anymore.
Christmas presents this year?
No, his birthday present.
Oh,
he just had a
I was gonna
birthday.
say, it took
That
me
is
a
so,
while.
dude.
So we did.
That's hilarious.
45-minute drive, so I didn't have to watch the.
Well, it's his sweater. Why didn't he
I saw
come
the
to
end
you?
of it. Well, because I didn't want to watch any more of the Mizzou Kentucky.
You'd rather drive.
It's an excuse.
You'd rather drive to Wentzville than to watch the Mizzou game.
Yeah, after the first half, that was my decision. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It was really horrible college football. It was terrible.
Yeah, and you can blame and bash, and I remember the Barry Odom era, trust me. And, I realized the defense was just getting chalked up for, 40 a game. But also, that was an entertaining football to watch. Drew Lock was throwing bombs. You just had a good offense.
Right.
And to me, when you try to compare the Drink and Odom era, which are very similar in terms of SEC record, home road win, like their win-loss record is very similar. But like the fans, you can't possibly compare the two. And I want to understand what was so bad with Barry Odom and what is so good with Drink. Because in year 3 of Barry Odom, he's getting canned, but they were putting up 25, 28 a game, and they were losing just as many SEC games. I don't understand why Barry Odom was so bad and Drinkwitz isn't getting extension, because it's a carbon copy. Their defense is good, their offense is bad. In Odom, their offense was good, their defense was bad.
All I can think of is a personality difference.
I guess.
Odom didn't have much of a personality, and Drinkwitz can turn on the charm and make people like him.
I mean,
That's all I could.
Right now are blaming this season more so on Barry Odom than Eli Drinkwitz in a lot of areas. Because look at what Eli inherited. We're acting like there was one-star walk-ons at every possible position when he came here. It was not great. Eli has gotten up to defense and gotten a lot of transfers as well, which was something that, the Barry Odom era, you didn't have that automatic transfer rule,
And it's
if I'm
been
not mistaken.
3 years now.
I mean, it's been 3 years. If you want to still talk about what he inherited 3 years ago, then I think there's just a small sect that is just delusional to Barry Odom and Eli. They're the same. It's the same.
Well, recruiting is massively different.
But
the recruiting on Drinkwitz has been.
I know
the numbers are one thing.
If the recruiting's been so good, where are the players?
Thank you.
Where are they?
Where are they? If you recruit 8th graders 3 years ago, I get it. They're not on the roster, but you're talking about guys who are on this roster. Like the running back, who was a 4-star. He hasn't touched the field. Sam Horn, the saving grace of this entire university, can't touch the field. If Sam Horn is this good, but he can't beat out Brady Cook, who is that bad, then what do we...
Dominic Lovett has been
tremendous.
Top of the SEC. That's a drink recruit. Mekhi Miller is going to be a really good receiver. It's a drink recruit. Burden. I mean, he's gotten some good players. It's just, maybe I'm being naive, but I think that the difference between Odom and Drink,
it's 100%.
There's a lot. The ceiling is a lot higher with Drinkwitz than
I don't know. I mean, he recruited Burden, and what has he done with Burden? How have they coached him up so that where he's the type of player we thought he was going to be? He's just another guy out there.
He's 1 year away from being.
He's 18 or 19 years old.
He's one more year away from being a 5th-round, 6th-round pick. I mean, almost with Libby. Almost.
2 years.
I know, but I'm saying if he has another year like this his sophomore year. Right. I mean, he could have to go for 2,000 in his junior year if he wants to get drafted that year in the top.
If this was his junior year, he wouldn't get drafted.
He wouldn't. He'd be a free agent on a practice squad. Imagine that, the best wide receiver. So, I don't know.
Well, one, the play calling is just atrocious.
Yeah, that.
And he doesn't have a quarterback that can get him the ball deep. So I mean,
but at a certain point, that's on Drink. If getting a quarterback in year like 3.
Well, yeah.
Right. That's on Drink.
Yeah, so it's there's two things going against him. It's not that he's bad; it's that there's nobody to get him the ball, and the play calling is pretty much the same every time. All right, you just go out there about 2 yards, we're going to throw it to you, and then have 9 guys swarm you.
A lot of 5-yard outs.
On 3rd and 8, we're going to throw a 4-yard pass.
Or run. We're going to run.
Our big play is hike it to the quarterback and let him run up the middle.
It was a sick crowd, though. Like, I will get, like, on the positive note, like, the fan base has seemed to come out to games a lot more than years past. At least on TV, it looks to be almost full, as opposed to a lot of empty seats in the Odom era. So I guess that's a comparison, too, that can't go overlooked.
Highest attendance of the Drink era was Kentucky on a cold and windy day.
Bad day to be sitting out there. How big was the crowd?
61, I want to say.
Really?
61.
Where'd that come from? A lot of people from Kentucky driving up?
I don't know. We'll have Gabe on at 9 o'clock. He was there. He can tell us all about it. Get involved in the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox. Call on the Steve McKee of North County phone lines. And then, of course, this program is brought to you by our title sponsor, the great Ryan Kelly. Doug, can you tell us about
the thing he can do, he can get you in a house, even during these difficult conditions. You've heard me talk about Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. He has a loan program now called the $0 Down Loan, where you can buy a home with $0 down, nothing. Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, has a $0 down home loan that is changing the game. and is making home ownership more accessible than ever before. The $0 down program that Ryan Kelly has, no income limits. It is not just for first-time home buyers. And if you have less than perfect credit, that's not a problem either. And the Home Loan Expert's 10-day closing guarantee, your loan will be closed in 10 days or you'll get $1,000. Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert, has that 10-day closing guarantee, so not only will you not have to put any money down, you'll be in your new home faster than ever. If you need more information about the $0 down loan, visit thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert will work closely with you to understand your unique financial situation to get the loan that is right for you, and they will go through the entire process with you. Their goal is to exceed your expectations the very first time. Buying a house doesn't have to be difficult. Let Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert, and his team show you how easy the process can be. Thank you, Ryan Kelly. Thank you, Sir Mortgage.
Ryan Kelly. And Doug, what about Bertarelli Cutlery? Is that Chop Cheeky?
Ooh. Well, they got the Chop Cheeky girls, but what they do is sharpen your knives, and after you get your knives home, or your cleavers or whatever, and you'll be singing Chop Cheeky, because you've gone to Bertarelli. That's what they do. Holiday season fast approaching. We all know that getting a gift for that special somebody isn't always easy. If you or anyone you know is looking for that gift that's maybe a cut above the rest, let me suggest you go check out the fine folks at Bertarelli Cutlery. It's a locally family-owned and operated business, been on the Hill since 1974. So support local and swing on down to the Hill and go see our friends at Bertarelli. They have an awesome showroom with a variety of kitchen tools and gadgets, mixers, and, of course, some world-class knives. They got those Wusthof knives. And, of course, they will sharpen your knives at Bertarelli just in time for Thanksgiving. Slice your turkey up like a pro with your freshly sharpened tools, courtesy of Bertarelli. Don't settle for a gift card or the same lame sweater this holiday season that I got John Vaughn. Don't get him a sweater. Get him some knives. Go to a cut above the chase at Bertarelli, located at 1927 Marconi Avenue on the Hill. And you can call them. I'll give the phone number now. 314-664-4005. Or visit them online at bertarellico.com. Bertarelli Cutlery.
Bertarelli Cutlery.
That's
Paul
exactly
Boy,
right.
I'd like to hear about the fine folks over at Centric. Patrick Nealon at Centric.
Centric Cybersecurity is the most exciting career in technology and one of the most in-demand. Centric can train you for a career in cybersecurity, and they can do it in just 4 months. Centric's hands-on program teaches you the actual job skills you need to get started. No history, no biology, just technology, and that's how they do it in just 4 months, even if you have no IT experience. And you can do it online, you can do it in person, you can do it in the evenings, you can do it during the day, whichever works best for you. If you're interested in a career in cybersecurity, call Patrick Nealon at Centric Training today, and he'll walk you through Centric's cutting-edge program and show you everything Centric does to help get you started in your new IT career. Call 314-450-4714 or go to centric.com/STL. That's CENTRIQ.com/STL. Cybersecurity is a problem for every business in St. Louis. You can be part of the solution.
Now, that was Tim. Where's Tim?
Yeah, trust me, I've seen plenty of texts on that, including this one. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room that is named ILL. That's from the Veiled Prophet. Yeah,
they got their souls taken by old Sparty.
Yeah,
I knew that. You love to think that this is going to be take Michigan out and meet Ohio State and Indy. I wanted it to happen. Still, I'm blown away about the season. So, these losses are going to happen. You're probably going to beat Purdue and Northwestern. Probably get killed by Michigan. Still win 8, 9.
Yeah, it's still a great season. But but turned it completely around.
This is first or second year?
My second year.
Second year. Amazing how you can do that in just 2 years.
Yeah. I don't really know how to explain it. Doesn't take 5 years. But Illinois, what he's done.
Like to play in the Big Ten West.
Yeah, it is true. I can't deny that the schedule is, just a different style of football as well than what you see in the SEC. Certainly.
Yeah, and there is some teams that are usually very dominant in that conference down this year.
Well, the last 3 weeks, we've seen some really horrible SEC football, too, between Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Kentucky.
I don't know what you saw out of Vanderbilt that you didn't think was exciting.
None of the three of them looked very good to me.
That was one of the first football games I actually thought no one wanted to win. Like, literally, even the coaches were like, let's just lose this.
It was just a boring weekend of football all around. I mean, other than the Alabama game, which is very exciting.
Tennessee, Georgia wasn't all that.
Yeah, that ruined it for me.
I mean, I think 13 teams in the top 25 lost. Clemson got their ass kicked by Notre Dame. That wasn't a good game to watch.
Notre Dame's looked good recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and yesterday football games. I mean, I fell asleep during the Rams game. It was so boring. And it's just terrible football the whole weekend.
May I suggest sports gambling? I'll throw a little more fire under your belly.
I
was watching golf all weekend. I had 6 bets on golf.
Just because the top 25 teams get beat, I don't know that makes it a bad weekend.
But I mean, they were boring games.
Yeah, but to me, like, it looked like the entire Midwest of America was getting hit by 30-mile-an-hour, like, wind.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Ohio State and Northwestern, that was a barn burner. Just a low-scoring game because, like, you really had to, like, Kentucky and Missouri was you had to play that wind. Like, Missouri had about 18 seconds left before they were going into the fourth quarter facing the wind, and you could tell it was like a hurry-up offense.
It was so... I was on the golf course. And there was times where the flag stick was dribbling off of the green because the wind was moving it. I played Friday too, and it was crazy windy on Friday.
Golf's not a lot of fun when it's real windy.
When the wind's it's pull that driver out, but still I mean, there was times where like I'm like $120 out. I don't hit my irons very far, but I'm like 3 clubs up, just trying to still hit it too high and let the wind eat up on it.
Too many leaves for me.
Yeah, boy.
Lose too many balls.
You lose so many. You got to keep your eyes. And even if you keep your eyes on it, you know exactly where it is. It's a good chance it's under about 100 leaves. So, and now I don't know how much golf we're going to get. Doug, you were talking about or Iggy, maybe you were talking about the forecast coming up, which reminds me, Design Air. Doug, they've been out to your house, right?
Oh, they absolutely have. They were there just a couple weeks ago.
It's going to get cold, boys.
Yeah, you better get them out there this week.
It's going to get cold. Iggy, break it down for us.
Well, I mean, the next few days, we go into Wednesday and Thursday in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then, boy, this weekend, when you get up Saturday morning, it's going to be in the 20s. And
I see a low of 19 degrees on Sunday.
And the next 6 days after that.
19?
I think I'm going to take that day off.
Lows in the teens and 20s and highs in the 30s and 40s.
So that's what's to come. So you know who to call. I mean, we only got, like you said, up until Thursday, it'll be in the 70s. But until then, you go to Design Air Heating and Cooling, Doug. Then they come out. They wear the little booties, right?
Sure they do. They don't just walk on your carpet. Yeah, they put those little hospital booties on so not to track any dirt in. Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because the last thing you want this winter is your
dirt.
Is your furnace to be out. That's no good.
No, don't want that.
I remember when I first started working on the show, there was a situation where my family home, my parents' home, the furnace went out, and it was going to be about -5 that evening.
Oh.
And so my parents were looking at a hotel for the night.
Yeah.
And I was, at the time, living at the home. And so I was like, I don't want to sleep at a hotel tonight. So we got in contact with Seth Goldcamp. They were out there. They saved the day.
Oh, did they really?
That day, they took care of my parents' house, said that the furnace would be okay. And it was probably the busiest day of the year for them.
Nice.
So shout out to Seth Goldcamp. That was a couple years ago, but that was outstanding work. And that's exactly what you can get over Design Air Heating and Cooling. As a Mizzou fan alumni, how could you not be excited and disappointed with where we're at? Disappointed because if we had a QB, you'd probably, at worst, have 2 losses. So it excites me thinking Drink can get a QB somehow and move forward. Just my optimism, I guess, as a Mizzou fan's from B Money.
Well, it's great to be optimistic. You have to be realistic, too.
Yeah.
And see that they're just, in the big picture, they're just not very good. They just aren't.
And get this, next year you are banking on Sam Horn. Granted, I think Cook is only a junior, correct?
He's a redshirt sophomore this year.
So third year, yeah.
So technically you could have 2 more years of Brady Cook if you can't find... You have to find his replacement. It's not...
Would be surprised if Brady Cook... Actually...
I'd be shocked if he started, but like Sam Horn, this is talk about Dylan Carlson-sized pressure on a dude that has not played at all at Missouri. Nope. You're basically saying this entire football program, Eli's job, all these recruits that are about to transfer at a below 5, that is on you, bud. You are 19 years old, and I need you to be a superstar. Like, that's just... do those ever work out?
I don't know.
I just can't see Sam Horn living up to these ungodly expectations. Brady Cook is that bad.
If Brady Cook went into the portal, would he be picked up by a top 75 team?
Oh, no. Like, if you wanted to play,
there's
I
probably
think
somebody out there who's better in the top 75, yeah.
Yeah. He probably, I don't know how many places he would come in and be immediately the starter, but, yeah.
You could go to Iowa right now and be the starter. I could probably tell you that. You could probably start at Iowa.
Well, yeah, Connor Bazelak, we weren't high on him. He went to Indiana and immediately became the starter there.
Right. And they took down Iowa as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Well,
how good is
did.
Indiana? They might be a top 7.
I just think we have to tap the brakes a little on Sam Horn. Because
we can't.
I mean, did we really know how great he is? We've been told he is, but
no, but we know how bad Cook is.
Yeah, but so apparently Horn is not good enough in practice to take the job.
Well, I think they're just know that you just get clobbered. The offensive line is bad. There's a lot of things that like you can point out that are non-Brady Cook or Eli issues. I mean, the offensive line is bad. I wouldn't say Burden is...
It's gotten a lot better, the offensive line.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Burden is an elite route runner if you had to pinpoint him. I mean, you get him the ball, and he can do everything you ask for in space. So I think there's a lot of things to point out. But, man, Sam Horn's got to be that guy. Because this is, if they go under 500 next year and don't make a bowl, there's no way Eli can stay.
He'll get another 3 years on his contract.
There is literally no way you can keep a guy for that long to have that little success.
This is a weird text considering Tim isn't here, but I'm going to read it anyways. Tim, if you ever want to sell some used clubs, please let me know, as I would love to have the opportunity to use the same clubs as the great Tim McKernan.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Stop it.
Same goes for you, Doug. Anytime you want to sell me one of your used pairs of European boy panties, just let me know.
How much you think
I'll even pay double if there happens to be a dollop of mud left on
it. How much?
That's right. Well, it comes from Butchie Boy.
Oh.
Is he listening to the show?
Sure, I'd sell my Utro.
Butchie Boy, call in,
Tim
I guess.
isn't here, so...
Right, but I think he more so... I think that was a Trojan horse just so he could ask Doug about his
I think so. It was a setup.
What's the difference in European boy panties and the boy panties
I think it's high cut on the hips.
Higher cut.
European boy panties have high cut on the hips?
Yeah, probably more like Speedos.
Really? You've worn a Speedo or two.
Oh, well, they were in style back when I wore them.
How is that? That does amaze me, Matt.
That's what everybody was wearing.
Really? So, like, if you went to a beach in, like, let's say, the mid-70s.
60s and 70s.
Everyone would be there in a Speedo?
Pretty much.
Well, everyone was also in shape then. Like,
no way.
That might have something to do. Not everybody, but most. Most weren't fat.
Yeah.
Like, the fat was, like, it wasn't obese, but there were certainly some people with some
There's a few
protruding
chubby
love
people.
handles.
I was trying to think back at all my friends that I hung around with, and of the, 50 or so, there was only 1 or 2 that were a little chubby.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say, when I lived in Bermuda, I wore nothing but Speedos. But then I go back and look at some of the pictures. Yeah, I got pictures. I go back and look at some of the pictures, and a lot of people wearing Speedos. But there are also quite a few people that weren't European that had the shorts on. So
I don't remember people wearing the short style swimming suit until somewhat recently. Like, I guess I say recently, 90s maybe.
Mm. Yeah, but these are kind of like the baggy shorts that you wear now, like the swim shorts and the Tommy Bahama look or whatever. There were a few guys I work with that would be on the beach and they'd be wearing those. But then the European people.
Would you mind modeling a Speedo today or someday soon?
We do have a Hito panty.
Take some pics and put it up
down here. We do have a Hito
on our website.
If the money's right.
I'm gonna say it's all about.
Someone's gonna have to pay you.
What if the money's not right?
Why would I just put on a pair of Speedos for no reason?
Show yourself off.
Now
there's nothing to show.
Marketing. Hello.
Nothing to show off. I'm 65 years old. It's not like I'm Jack LaLanne over here.
Well, get yourself in shape.
Yeah, okay, I'll work on it today.
Oh, you look good.
So this is another business venture that we could tap into. We can go private.
Yeah.
But now,
we can send
mid-show, we can send pics and package up our game-worn.
Yeah, we're gonna
need
wardrobe changes. We're
so
gonna
like
need a little wardrobe
after the show, we just
I don't
bag
mind
it up.
yeah.
We date the tag in the inside, kind of as an autograph.
These are my first segment Utro.
Just roll them up tight, keep that sweat and all that the musk in there, and vacuum seal it and send it off to Bill over there in Crystal City or whatever, and make $50.
Doug, I would like to position myself beneath your Speedo and catch the drippings from your warm grundle oven.
Okay, that's enough. Who was that?
That was Shrewsbury Seat Sniffer.
Shrewsbury Seat Sniffer just got himself suspended. He took it a step too far. Shrewsbury SSU You've been suspended a period of 2 days' time, and your name, as we speak, is going into the suspension logule. No, I don't imagine it does feel very good.
No.
No, I do remember I was talking about Speedos.
Feet sniffer.
And maybe that's kind of where I got the, exhibitionist in me.
What?
When I got to Hito, and then I got naked, and I said, God, I like this. But there, everybody's wearing Speedos in Bermuda. But if I would walk the beach and I'd see 6 or 7 girls in a little group there, I would take the Speedo and I'd pull it up the crack of my ass to give me almost like a thong.
Why?
And I'd walk by so they could see my ass, and it's like, that's kind of freeing. They're looking at my bare ass.
Freeing?
So you would describe yourself as an exhibitionist?
No, not now. But then it was kind of freeing to do that. And then when you're at Hito, I mean, everybody's new.
And did you think one of them was going to whistle at you or say, howdy, boy, new in town, something like that?
Worked a few times.
Boy, I'd really love to go hoe chasing tonight.
It did work for you, you say?
Well, you walk by them, and then, after a few times, you go.
You kept walking back and forth.
No, not. But I was at a beach where you did a lot of snorkeling. It wasn't like Horseshoe Bay where everybody just lays out. Church Bay was more snorkeling, and so I'd have my snorkel mask and I'd pull my Speedo up into my ass and walk by and go snorkel.
That's disgusting.
And then after a couple times, the girls say, "Is there a lot of fish out there?" "Oh yeah, if you go right out here, there's a lot of parrotfish." And oh really? And then they started chatting up, and the next thing you know, you're at the Touch that night, banging.
At the Touch.
The Touch.
Now, what's that?
Touch nightclub. Inside the Southampton Princess.
It's got to be the worst name for a
Inside
nightclub.
the Southampton.
Oh, it's the creepiest name I've ever heard in my
Southampton
life.
Princess, and it's called the Touch.
The Touch.
All because you hiked up your Speedo.
It could be. Just saw a nice little white American ass.
Oh, Butchie Boy, he sent in the clarifying text. To clarify, the European cut will expose some of them wispy pubes that tend to puff out of the groin popper. It's kind of like a precursor to getting a face full of a bush later on.
Oh!
Butchie Boy, back. What the hell am I listening to? That's from Conclusion the Stripper. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After Munganess.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Well, if you're listening, you know what we were talking about.
Damn right. Did any families on the beach farm their daughters out to Ken after seeing that boy butt? That's from Long Balls.
Look at those cheeks. Please, take my daughter.
Put that off.
Boy, take her for like a dolphin tour.
See, what I would pull my Speedo up. There were some guys that just had thongs. I had a guy that worked the front desk, German guy, and he was dating another German who worked in one of the restaurants. I think his name was Klaus.
Klaus and Hans. That's about the only names they have.
And I see her walk down the beach, and she's got a thong on.
Sure she did, yeah.
But then he comes following her, and he's got a thong on.
Oh, thongs are plenty.
My God, it's one thing to pull your Speedo up just to show off a little, but this guy had a real thong on. It's like a woman's thong he's wearing. I didn't look at him the same way ever again.
How could you?
When I saw him at the front desk, and God.
Did you see him at Touch?
Well, I'm sure he's there at some point. Everyone went to the Touch.
Morning, Dougie. It's getting a little cold out here in the parking lot on my dirt bike. I was wondering if after segment 1 I could pop inside and sit beneath thy butt spigot.
No!
Get a warm rush of mud.
Okay.
To warm up my boiler.
That's enough.
Tommy Trivens?
Who was that?
It's from Will Tommy Trivens.
Tommy Trivens. He, too, has been suspended. I'm putting his name right now into the suspension logule. That ought to fix him. His parents won't like it. Tommy Trivens. How do you spell that? Tribins.
2 M's in Tommy.
Is that a logule? It looks like a piece of paper.
It is a logule.
Yeah, I see it. Great. Now I have to show my bare ass in the TikTok. That's from Colky Culkin, a.k.a. KG in O-Town, a.k.a. D'Angelo Hopkins. So now I guess he's going to make a TikTok of him hiking a Speedo up. Is that going to get banned by TikTok if he shows his bare ass?
I don't think so. Not if you got a Speedo on.
Right. And because it'll be so hot.
Any kind of little fabric going up there, you're fine.
Ask if it was the Touch or more likely Touche. Is he mispronouncing it? It's from the Through and Full.
No, it was the Touch nightclub.
Yeah, I did.
Why don't you Google it? I doubt they've probably renamed it inside.
Or it's been closed.
Yeah, well, they probably. I'm sure there's a nightclub still inside the Southampton Princess, but they probably renamed it and said, this really is a stupid name.
There's 215 people watching us on YouTube, though. Someone says, Jackson, please lean into your camera a little more so I can tenderly kiss that forehead.
Okay, that's plenty.
I look like an absolute ghost on the YouTube. I look see-through. God, am I pale. How does someone get more sun? Like, how can I safely get more sun?
Are you out? You're outside enough.
I
Right?
played
When you
golf
play
3 days this week.
Do you put heavy sunblock on?
No, not heavy.
And you still don't get any
Just
color.
none. I lived in
tan,
Florida
baby.
for a year, and I was barely more tan.
Really?
Barely. That picture up there that you see of me where I look kind of tanned was doctored.
Was it
doctored
really?
by a friend of mine. I once went butt snorkeling with Doug in the Ozarks while he's wearing a thong, Mr. Slave.
That's not true.
I want to get a little bit, and come wintertime, I'm going to get more pale. I've never been able to stay.
That's you, so you just got to deal with it, live with it.
I want your beautiful skin.
Yeah, you have great skin.
Yeah.
What kind of comment is that towards me?
But Mr. Licks is involved, and he is texting often. It's official. Matty Dreads doesn't exist. I think Plowsy created him in his mind a while ago, and the lie just continued to snowball.
No,
and then reached a boiling point when talk began of having him on for a guest for Pepperini. Now watch Plowsy continue to delay the interview, saying this mysterious person has just been really busy, while Plowsy anxiously hopes people eventually forget and stop asking about it. Pepper doesn't fall far from the genie tree. That's from Mr. Licks.
I mean, how many porn producers get up at 8 a.m. to talk to a podcast called Pepper and Genie? So, I mean...
Zero at the...
Yeah. So he said no, he turned you down, did he?
No, he said he'd let me know when he wakes up, and it's not till like 2 in the afternoon, our time.
Right.
It's
So
like
noon Vegas
there,
time.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just have to...
So he wasn't on Friday?
No.
Was not
So, I mean, I would have to, like, come back, set it up, and do, like, one at, like, 2 or 2:30.
Yeah.
Iggy, would you be open to doing that for Matty Dreads?
What's that?
Coming back here around 2.
You weren't paying attention.
2 or 2:30 in the afternoon to record Pepper and Genie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nothing to do.
Tim, if I answer like that on Bloom Parade, Tim would say, high-pitched voice is sometimes a tell that you don't really want to come in.
Iggy lives close enough to where I believe he'd
No,
even come
I'm
in.
3 minutes away, so I have no
Right.
problem doing
Now,
that.
if it was like a 15-minute drive...
Probably not.
Oh, come on.
Even I would have to go.
I join over the phone. I just call in.
He doesn't have to get up at 8 a.m. Call him literally any other time and record it, you moron. That's
Well, don't tell us what to do.
Yeah, don't tell us. Not
What,
us.
do you think I have like a soundproof studio in my apartment?
You should.
Does it have to be soundproof?
How am I going to talk to him and record it and then put it on a podcast? Do
I don't
people
know.
know how audio works, like in
No.
terms of podcasts and how you actually have to record it?
Apparently not.
And according to
You
these people,
can't
they
just
don't
record
listen.
it on an iPhone and just pop it in and just that's it. Like that's not how it works.
When you're on a phone call on your iPhone, is there a way to record the whole thing?
I mean, I'm
There
sure.
Probably
like an
is.
app, probably, or something that you can do. Yeah, I'm sure you can.
But in terms of quality of sound,
Record.
how's that going to
Yeah,
sound?
probably not
bad.
great.
It would
Awful.
sound bad.
Just
Right.
awful.
But it's asking an awful lot for a couple guys to drive back 15 minutes and cut something and
Hey,
drive back.
Well, it is
home.
for a show we're not getting paid for that has no sponsors and nobody listens to.
Okay,
Yes.
easy, angry.
That's way
Look,
too
don't
much.
hype us up too much, Iggy. But I have a 25-minute commute
Oh, that's right.
each way. So if you're talking for me to, it would be a battle.
Right.
It's something that I would do just fine. But I'm also kind of with Iggy as well.
Yeah.
We've given enough samples to sponsors.
If they don't like
want
it. They don't like it now. Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's changing.
Well,
So, I mean, I don't want to tease too early, but if no Matty Dreads today, what's going to be the Pepper and Genie topic for this?
Well, we
lovely
always
Monday?
find so Iggy lately has come up with some really good topics.
Dynamic topics.
Has he really?
Dynamic
Yes.
is the word I would
And I thought, what was the one on
I don't remember them.
the one on Friday was really good? Was it grocery store habits? Was that the one on Friday?
I remember one. You told me one time after Balloon Party, Tim and I walk in here and we asked Plowsy what you talked about in Pepper and Genie. He goes, strategies for grocery shopping.
strategy.
I don't know if that was
Like you need a
Friday
game
or
plan
not.
to go buy some green beans.
Yeah, I think I just threw it out there. I said,
think it was.
Do you have a list? Or just kind of going nilly-willy, and I need 2 things, but I'm just going to browse. Like Friday, I may have pork chops, just kind of look through the meats. Or do you have a list?
And Doug, we went 17 minutes with this one.
Oh, did you? Well, the big rule is never go hungry.
Yeah. Plowsy, probably another rule is don't go stoned.
Yeah. No, I disagree. You're going to thank yourself the next time you get stoned.
Get
and
out
you
of
look
that
in your
chip aisle.
pantry and you
It's
got
full.
Probably the same thing as going hungry. I will say, if I go grocery shopping and I never make a list, I always forget at least one thing. Like I forget something I like, and it's mostly like paper towels or something simple like that. But I do always forget, so maybe a strategy is better.
It is easy to make a list now in your notes section of your, on your phone. You just say it. You don't even have to write it down. Just say it into the notes. And
what Madison and I will do is we look responsible when you walk into our kitchen to see this huge list of, but we forget the list.
Leave the list at home.
We leave like the list hanging up.
That's why you got to do it on your phone, because the one thing you will never forget is your phone.
Exactly.
Alan Dadeville bringing some gravity to this, because he knows about what you guys talked about. No, Friday you guys talked about Roadkill. It was an all-time from Alan Dadeville.
Oh yeah.
You guys spent your podcast talking about Roadkill.
Yeah, it was just something I was enamored by, that it seems like every dead animal is always off on the side of the road. Is somebody like pulling it off the side of the road and leaving it there? Why don't you just put it in the car and get rid of it?
Put it in the car?
Well, the truck. I mean, I'm sure somebody says that, hey, there's a dead deer in the middle of the road. All right, well, you got to call somebody to come get it. They just come get it, throw it on the side, and then leave? Put it in your truck.
I think at times the police might drag it to the side of the road and waiting for the truck that comes and picks that stuff up.
All right. I was talking about a deer that has been there so long, all that's left is a little pelt of fur.
Oh!
They've eaten the head, the hooves, everything.
I saw once a policeman stop his car and drag a deer off the road to the side, to the to the shoulder of the road, and then a truck comes by later.
I get it, a big animal.
I would say I missed that one. I didn't see it.
Yeah, but I asked Plowsy, and Plowsy came up with a good answer that I didn't think of. I said, not just deer. I said, on the side of the road, you see a possum, you see raccoons, you see them all just on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
You're not calling a cop because there's a smashed raccoon in the middle of the road, but it always ends up on the side of the road. And Plowsy said probably because a bird is not going to stand in the middle of the highway and eat it. They grab it and pull it off to the side, and that's where they
Can
eat
a bird pull a raccoon off to the side?
They
can pull a deer, though.
A hawk can.
I don't know.
A hawk could easily pull a raccoon.
And there's some of them who probably get hit by the car and they are hurled to the side of the road. And then there's others where the police come and trying to avoid a future car wreck, drags the animal to the side.
How do you hurl a raccoon across and it happens to land right on the side of the road?
Well, that's why it's more likely that the police have done that.
Yeah, I would think that someone, either the person who hit it, or like in a situation with deer, like if you hit a deer, it's not like, oh, I just hit a deer, let me keep driving. Like your car is most likely going to be damaged.
We did. My son Greg hit a deer once, and we kept driving.
Really?
I told you
like
that story,
straight
right?
on? Yeah.
No, it was like the second time he'd ever driven on the highway. He was like 15 and a half, about to go. He had his permit, about to go test for his driver's license, and it's getting dark, and he's saying, I need to practice driving on the highway because I'm going to take my driver's test like next week.
And this is before tags, of course. This is before.
Yes, he hadn't advanced that far. So we're going south on 55. And then we got to go north on 270. We're right at that ramp, the 55, 270 ramp, kind of close to South County Mall. And It's getting dark. And he's going maybe 55, 60 miles an hour on that ramp because we're about to merge. And just then, a deer came out of nowhere right in front of the car.
Oh.
Out of nowhere.
Jeez.
Thankfully, it happened so fast, he didn't even have time to swerve, or we might have rolled and both been killed. Instead, the deer moved just slightly, and it wiped out the whole side of the car. Hooves were flying in the window and everything. And he started screaming. He was saying, F, F. And then, although he didn't really say F.
And then discipline him.
And then we thought, what do you do now? Do you stop? Do you check out the deer? There's a car behind us going 60 miles an hour. What do you do? We just keep going.
Yeah, you have to.
It's a hit and run.
Yeah. And then about a mile down, he said, I'm sorry for my language. And I said, no, that's exactly what you're supposed to say when you hit a deer at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's a reflex action.
100%. You know, I was, I don't know if I've ever told this story on there. When we were still at KFNS, I left KFNS. It was probably like October. I left for the day. It was probably 1 o'clock. So I'm driving down Manchester, like no less than 1,000 feet from the station, going east. West? I was going a direction. And
one of the four directions.
Right, I was going one of the four. I was heading towards Brentwood Boulevard from the station. East. So I see peeking out of the... I mean, it's 1 o'clock on Manchester. It couldn't be more populated on the street. And I see a deer start to creep out from one of the subdivisions right there. And I'm like, this kid only go poorly. He's probably 500 feet in front of me. He runs into the middle of the road. I'm like, oh, my God.
Manchester.
Yeah, I'm like, someone's going to get their car destroyed, and this deer's going to be super dead. And I'm kind of just watching it all happen in real time. And then the deer makes a direct left turn coming towards my car. I said, you got to be kidding me. I don't swerve. I just keep driving. I don't slow down. I keep going. I see it face to face with it on the passenger or the driver's side of my door, and it nicks my car. Like his hoof hit my side of the door, and it kept going, and I think it lived. I think it just ran down Manchester and went to another subdivision. So a deer ran in the middle of Manchester at like the busiest time of the day and somehow survived. That's like the Deer Olympics right there.
And that same deer, if he's in the woods, will hear you step on a twig from 1,000 feet away and run away in fear, but will at the same time run right in front of a Mack truck on Highway 70.
It's a 2-ton death machine.
Yeah.
No fear, but yeah, if I step on a twig
sense.
in the woods, it's running away.
Obviously, they have hearing.
Right, exactly. I don't get
it. It's the car lights, man. At least in the night. I don't know about in the day.
They just want to run right into car lights?
Yeah.
See, our
but don't they hear that
Pepperini
noise?
turned into a whole segment here.
Dude, the last deer I hit was in Canton with my Jeep, and this was killed immediately. I'm going about 70. I mean, it was the speed limit was 65. But, like, I swerve when I have a deer directly in front of me. I swerve a little bit just so it can, like, slide off of my car instead of having my airbag go off. 'Cause to me, like, there's nothing worse than, like, I think airbags, for me, they'd be worse of an experience of what actually did happen when you hit him on the side and he goes to the side of the car.
Yeah.
Once the airbag goes, you're now not in control of this vehicle.
Right.
You are now going into a culvert, into a steep ditch, all because of this deer. So I swerved, and he ended up, like, I mean, it broke his neck, but, like, his hoof got caught in my Jeep door. It, like, pierced through that metal. And obviously it broke off, with the momentum. So I stop and I check out, like, my Jeep, and there's just this leg just sticking out.
Oh, it came off?
Yeah.
I used to work with a guy at Channel 4 who had one of those little Mazda Miata sports cars. Remember those? Tiny little cars.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a convertible. He had the roof down. And he was driving through the woods, hit a deer head on, and the deer, like, somersaulted over the windshield, over him. It was in the back seat for a while. He had fur all over the car.
Oh, man.
It just destroyed the automobile.
Damn it. This is some booty radio. It's from Grumpy Triple X.
And before you say anything
Tim
more...
is away and the kids will play. This sounds like Pepper and Genie has infiltrated TMA from Big City.
Fun topic, though, Roadkill, right?
Yeah.
You didn't think you'd have this much fun talking about it.
For the lovely discussion. We'll continue that discussion on the other side of the break. Of course, we have Gabe DeArmond, presented by James Carlton, coming up at 9 o'clock. The Design Air Heating Cooling email today. I believe either Randy and Carrie will take balloon parties today, or BK and Ferrari will start early. I'm not sure. I will not be doing it solo for those who have asked, because, of course, that would be awful. So that will be that. But coming up on the other side of the break, the Astros win the World Series. We got local hoops teams tipping it up tonight. A weekend, a memorable weekend in college football, all coming up next. That's going to close out the Munganess 7 o'clock hour. We'll be back with the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour on the other side of the commercial break. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperini. Pepperini.
And now the Pepperini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperini.
Pepperini. Pepperini. Pepperini. Pepperini. Pepperini. Pepperini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
The best authentic Southwestern cuisine awaits you at Santa Fe Bistro in Creve Coeur. Open for lunch and dinner with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6, and Saturdays, 2:30 to 4. Daily drink and entree specials and 72 tequilas, as well as a vast selection of beer on draft and by the bottle. Wear a jersey or team gear for Blues and NFL games and get a free drink with the purchase of an entree. Nothing says authentic Southwestern cuisine quite like Santa Fe Bistro, west of 270 on Olive. Same plaza as the old TGI Fridays location. Full menu at SantaFeBistroMO.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and right now, this is a unique time with regards to the market. People are paying attention to interest rates, and I'm here with Ryan Kelly. And Ryan, what can you tell our listeners about this moment in American history?
Well, it's the perfect time to buy a house. Yeah. That's for sure. And I know when I first say that, it just seems a little crazy. But think about this. Last year, $400,000 house, multiple offers coming in. You might have paid $450,000, $475,000 for that house. Now, today, it's officially a buyer's market. So that $400,000 house, you might be able to get it for $375,000 or even $350,000. So when you think about that, knowing that you can get a house significantly less today than a year ago, I mean, that's a win-win, right? And mortgage rates are definitely a little higher than they were a year ago. But at thehomeloanexpert.com, we have a saying: you marry the house, you date the rate, you fall in love with the house. You're going to be there for a while, but chances are we'll refinance you and get that rate and that payment down low. So got questions, ready to get pre-approved? Let's talk. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
This is Tim McKernan. I'd like to tell you about a company I started just a couple of years ago, and they still own. And it's called Sound Story. It's essentially a one-hour interview that we do either in person or via Zoom with mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They come in and they tell their stories, education, growing up, and of course, family stories, the wisdom that they can share with their loved ones for generations to come. It's an audio heirloom. It's Sound Story. To learn more, go to mysoundstory.com. Your favorite spirits like Hendrick's Gin and Monkey Shoulder Vatted Malt Whiskey are now available in premium, ready-to-serve cocktails thanks to Batch and Bottle. Try the Lazy Old Fashioned, Rhubarb Cosmo, Gin Martini, or Scotch Manhattan. Simply chill, pour, and garnish. Each bottle serves 4 to 5 cocktails, so grab a few for your next party and spend less time in the kitchen and more time in the conversation. Just look for the black bottle with the gold cap. That's Batch and Bottle Premium Ready-to-Serve Cocktails. Batch and Bottle Premium Pre-Batch Cocktails, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc., New York, New York.
Hi, this is Trish Wolf from the Wolf Pack at Worth Clark Realty. And the home selling market might look a little bit uncertain right now, but if you've got the Wolf Pack on your team, that's going to make all the difference. We're going to help you with staging and tell you what kind of upgrades to make or to avoid. We're going to put our social media to work for you and get you your maximum exposure for that home. So while home values are holding and inventory's still low, let's jump on board and get that house listed. And if you're waiting until spring, it's never too early to get started with that planning. So give me a call today at 314-807-WOLF, or you can always find us at trishwolf.com. Join the pack. We've got your back.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
I'm as moist as a freshly baked Betty Crocker cake.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Ready high. Cause I was getting high. You know what happens when I was getting high. We're gonna be partying like it's 2006 again. You know. Yes, St. Louis, we the truest red birds in our hearts. So many pennies, we should hang them from the arch. I love my birds on my chest. I love my birds on my hat. As long as that bird red, I'ma put it on my bat. I love my birds on my chest.
Imagine how beat up pets would get if you hang them from the arch.
As long as that bird red, I'ma wear it on my hat. Yep. Chambers, you my boy. Yeah, them Braves, they lost their poise. Now if you're from St. Louis, gonna make some noise. Yeah. You remember back in August, they were counting us all out. But now that it's September, all they ever talk about. Like October, looking like the, yeah, we charging like the Mount. Albert ready for you, Niger. He gon' lay you on that ground. Brandon Phillips, where you at? Practically 20 games back. We talking about the playoffs, so you know we brought our bats. Yeah, who we got on deck them Chicago Cubs. You wanna know the difference between them and us? Well, first off, we red, yeah, you know they blue, but they don't know October quite as well as we do. Yeah, our fans are always crazy, yeah, we hardly ever sober, but then they never party, especially in October. Yeah, St. Louis, we the truest red birds in our hearts. So many pennants, we should hang them from the arch. I love my birds on my chest, I love my birds on my hat. As long as that bird red, I'ma put it on my bat. I love my birds on my chest, I love my birds on my back. As long as that bird red, I'ma wear it on my hat. Yep, but Cali got them wheels, so you know he gon' steal. The Cards, they got that staff, they gonna seal us the deal. Yeah, St. Louis always rowdy, yeah, so let me hear you clap your hands. Start it off slow.
Welcome back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. This is the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Appliance Discounters, your hometown appliance source featuring major brands like GE. Coming up on the Captain's Log, we got the Colonel, Gabe DeArmond, coming up in about 40 minutes, presented by James Carlton. Then we'll have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Ellen Foley leads the November standings with 2 wins, and Danny Tanner and Hey Phil have a win apiece. And there's a prize for it, but Iggy Strode is not currently in studio. He motioned to me for the break right about 8:10. And I said, sure, we can go to break. And he hustled out of here and has not returned. But Douglas,
where'd he go?
Probably the smoke, if I had to guess. He usually does have assignments come across his desk.
Yeah, I guess.
Right about 8 o'clock and then 9 o'clock and then so kind of interspersed throughout the show.
These assignments come from corporate in Minneapolis?
The assignments come in. He reads them on his phone.
Stan Hubbard, personal email.
He goes.
Hey,
he walks.
We need you to
he walks
walk.
out and he goes. He takes care of the assignments. So like every show, he takes care of 3 or 4 different assignments. We got the plow. What do you eat? What is that? Some sort of
just a ball of sugar.
That looks like a crumpet. Is that a crumpet?
What the
Are you
world
eating
is
a,
that?
Are you eating a crumpet now? Now the coughing fit is going on.
I've had 2 honey buns and 3 blueberry muffins.
3 of them already.
2 honey buns. Who's making those honey buns?
I think they're off-brand honey buns, but the muffins Madison made last night.
Now, were they?
Brought 3. Dude, I feel like a little piggy.
Do you?
Stuffed to the brim.
And yet you never gain an ounce.
Not one.
Yep.
Never, no matter what you eat. How about like right after Thanksgiving? Do you have a little bit of a tummy bloat?
Paunch,
Anything at all?
Yeah, until I go relieve myself.
Oh.
You guys like Thanksgiving food? Like the food?
Oh, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
I do too. Some people I see like the hot current take is like Thanksgiving food isn't actually good, but I disagree with that.
Oh, it's great. I always wonder why we don't eat like that more often during the year. Why is Thanksgiving the only time anybody ever bakes a turkey?
I love it.
Maybe Christmas.
It's like you make a stuffing in like August and go, what are you doing?
Oh, I love stuffing. Stuffing is so good.
Well, it's turkey, and it's good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Why we don't... I saw it the other day in the store. It's $1.09 a pound, and like regular lunch meat or something was like $4 a pound. Why aren't we always baking turkeys and slicing them up and eating that?
Because we have to wait for that one day a year.
I guess.
I love the cold turkey. Throw a little Miracle Whip on, just a light Miracle Whip on each side of bread. Very light and only on turkey. It's like the only year I'll eat mayo or any kind of that.
You don't eat mayo?
You got to try that peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich.
I tried it, Doug.
It's good, isn't it?
It was fine.
It's good.
It was better than I anticipated.
It's nice.
Yeah, it was certainly an interesting combination. Mayo doesn't taste like much. Like there's not a lot of taste to mayo. It just kind of gives some lubricant to a sandwich.
Don't say lubricant.
That's what it does.
It really is that.
Can we please just get Tim to call in at least? Is there any chance Tim will be back for the 9 o'clock hour? That's from Mr. Licks.
Okay, Licks.
He's not going to have sex with you. I promise. No,
well,
matter how nice you are.
Here's Tim right now talking about VIP Auto.
Oh. That'll have to do today.
CDF's Fire Division.
No.
No.
It's all right.
Well.
Tommy Sabol, and he wants you to call him directly. Don't worry about messing around. You just go right to the guy in charge. 314-428-3900 or email him at tommy.cibulka at VIP Auto Accessories. VIP Auto Accessories is your one-stop full-service shop For all your auto accessory needs, they do van and truck upfitting for commercial fleet vehicles, provide graphic solutions for vehicles, retail office space, floors, windows, and more, and have a full array of public safety solutions, including for EMS and police fleets. VIP is now a full-service operation, providing top-quality service and the ability to get it done now. VIP's one-stop shop will save you time and hassle. Go to VIPAutoAccessories.com or call Tommy Cibulka at 314-428-3900 or email him at TommyCibulka at VIPAutoAccessories.com. That's Tommy Cibulka and VIP Auto Accessories.
That's VIP Auto, Tommy Cibulka. Doug, the Houston Astros, they're World Series champs. Dusty Baker gets his first World Series, lifetime baseball guy. And I send these questions to Tim for Balloon Party, and so we're not doing Balloon Party. So I kind of wanted to ask it in this setting.
In this vein.
In this vein, yeah. So the Astros celebrate their second World Series in 5 years. Do you still think the stink of the Astros cheating scandal is worn off after this victory? Do you think people still have bitterness about that situation? Do the storylines of Dusty Baker getting his first ring and Trey Mancini battling cancer and winning a title 2 years later overshadow the mistakes of the previous Astros?
No,
what are your thoughts?
no. The Astros still stink. The Astros cheated in a very outrageous way and got away with it and were rewarded with a World Series championship. We have other people cheat in sports, and a lot of times they lose their titles, they lose their belts, whatever. The Astros cheated. Everybody knew it. Oh, you're the World Series champions. So, no, I'm not over it yet. I root hard against the Astros, whoever they play.
If I'm another team, I'm doing the exact same thing. There's no repercussion.
No.
You know, the manager's going to fall on the sword. You know, your GM or whatever will fall on the sword. But in terms of the player, do you think they care about billionaires losing? You know, no one cares about fines, or that manager will find another job just as quickly as, you know, any other coach. It's all about getting an advantage and getting in no trouble for it. They ain't getting any trouble. No player got fined. No player got suspended. No player got the ring stolen. I would do it. I would be a trash can every year. I would set that up just like the Astros did, exactly like it.
Or just start banging on a trash can even if you don't know what pitches are
who
coming.
cares?
Just so they think that you've got their signs.
You're thinking if you're like an Astros fan or just like someone in the Astros, the situation actually couldn't have worked out much better because the cheating scandal comes out right after the 2019 World Series, right after the Nationals. And if I'm messing up the timeline, I apologize, but I think it's pretty accurate. So after that, all that comes out after the 2019 World Series. So the build-up to the 2020 season is that anytime the Astros are coming in town, it's going to be bad. It started in spring training. Fans were giving them all sorts of guff to kick off spring training. Then, of course, the pandemic hits. They go to play a year with no fans, so no one's barking at them. Limited fans coming back in 2021. And by that time, once fans fully come back, people aren't forgetting, but it's the passion, the rage isn't as high. And then in 2022, you win the World Series and get to be the Kings. So, like, it kind of feels like to me the Astros never, because none of the players got in trouble. So it feels like the Astros were never really properly punished or razzed in a sense.
No, they weren't.
For their actions. So
they completely got away with it and were rewarded for it.
It is kind of odd in that sense that, like, you know, and you know, it's great for Dusty Baker, who's a lifetime baseball guy, to get his ring, and the Trey Mancini stuff is super incredible. But yeah, I mean, the stink to me is still very much on the Astros.
Yeah, and will be for a while. For me.
You'd have to think. But it is pretty impressive to an extent that, you know, since that 2018, they won 2018? 2018. Since they won the World Series. No, 2017. 2018 was the Red Sox. Since they won that World Series, they lost Correa, Springer, Garrett Cole, and yet still they were by far the best team in the playoffs this year. And the regular season too.
The Phillies just couldn't hit their pitching. Yeah. They just couldn't hit it. They did that one game where they hit 5 home runs, but beyond that, they had nothing going offensively. It's like Schwarber hit a home run about once a game, and that was about it.
Did you root against La Russa the last couple of years with the White Sox?
No.
Why?
Well, why would I?
Well, they cheated back in 1919.
Well, I wasn't around for that.
Well,
that's been more than a century.
Well, they still threw a World Series.
Yeah, but they didn't throw it to win it.
So they still threw it.
So, Doug, in 2005, were you not rooting against?
You think I'm still bitter over the Black Sox scandal in 1919?
Years
you're holding a grudge against the Astros. 5 years later.
Some of these players are still there. Still the same group.
Well, you don't know Shoeless Joe Jackson isn't playing still.
He's dead. Has been a long time.
You don't believe in reincarnation?
And Shoeless Joe was one that they think didn't cheat. He hit like 350 that World Series, and yet he got banned from life. Is he supposed to hit 1,000?
Well, he took the money, so same thing.
Jesus, Iggy, go take a longer smoke break. Bad take alert. Bad take alert. Oh, man.
No, unless they beat your team, why do you care?
And Houston's a great example. Tanking works, man. It just works.
It worked for them. It hadn't worked for everybody.
Worked for the Cubs, too. I know they're tanking again, but they're in their second tank mode, but they won. It works.
Would you rather, I mean, then the question comes.
Yes.
Would you rather, you'd rather have a team tank for a 3 or 4 year span and then be a real contender coming back?
No way.
Or a 5-year run of being in the playoffs every year and just falling short?
The 5-year run
I'm
in
with
it
the
every
latter
year.
as well. Because there's nothing worse than being out of it in July.
And there's no guarantee.
100% nothing worse than like sneaking your way in the playoffs and just utter disappointment.
Yes, there is. How about
if
not
it's a
making the
guarantee to be in
playoffs?
the NLCS or kind of have that same trajectory at the Astros did, give me 3 or 4 years of tanking all day. You give me a Carlos Correa, you give me 3, 4 top 5 picks in 5 years. Absolutely.
But one of them, the guy they picked first overall, was nothing.
And that makes it even more impressive. That literally makes it even more impressive that they missed on one of those top draft picks and still managed to rebuild and reload.
Now, the NBA, do they still do the ping pong thing, pong ball thing?
Lottery.
Yeah, and now they're really looking out for tanking.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that, and the commissioner said, we have to look into it because, you're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime player.
Oh, he's unreal.
But even if you tank it, you still got to be lucky with the ping pong ball.
True.
Yeah, it just gives you, being the worst team just gives you a better, you get more ping pong balls.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily going to get that.
And it'll be amazing if the guy winds up with the Knicks or the Lakers.
Well, the fun thing is, and I know before the Hoosiers start texting in that we won't be talking NBA, but the Lakers' first pick is owed to the New Orleans Pelicans. Bring home our Pelicans.
Well,
so theoretically, if the Lakers finish last this season,
then it won't be them.
Their pick
Probably
will go
the
to the
Knicks.
Pelicans, and if they get the lottery, the Pelicans will have Zion and Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, just think about how the Lakers would feel seeing their draft pick go to.
Well, that's what happens when your team is mismanaged.
Yeah, like he's a Hall of Famer to me already. I didn't put a minute in the NBA. I don't like to
This
put
is
a-
the thing you seem to do, where you laud these players who've never played 1 minute in the leagues as
It's
either
a stud.
terrible or great.
I would tank for that dude. In a
Well,
second,
everybody
bro.
has, except for Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz, who are 8-3.
I would if
No, I
I'm
should
the,
have said once-in-a-generation player, not once-in-a-lifetime.
I don't know. I don't know. I think you're more accurate.
Who's he
It
play
might
with
be
now?
Once
What
in a
team is he?
He
lifetime.
plays in the French pro. He's French. He plays in the French pro league.
Have you seen it? It's just.
I've seen a little bit of dribbling between his legs, hitting 30-footers.
Hitting
He's
35
7'4",
Yeah.
he's 7'4" with guard skills and can shoot the
It's
three.
stupid.
The only problem with people that big is it's
injuries.
really easy to get hurt.
Feet
Hurt your
injuries,
feet, your knees.
Feet injuries, especially.
I mean, to look at Sean Bradley play in high school and college, you thought, well, this is the next greatest player in the history of the league.
Yeah.
But it's hard to stay healthy when you're that big.
Was
It ended
Bradley
Yao Ming's
doing
career.
step backs though?
No one's doing. I mean, but Doug is right. Feet issues are a serious
it's
problem.
hard.
Injuries at that height in your body, like Giannis is. It's unbelievable that he's built like Hercules and has, for the most part, avoided a lot of major injuries. This is your official reminder that you all. Oh, nope, not going to read that.
Don't read it. Push it aside.
I saw Forbes do like an evaluation of like how much a team is valued if they get this kid, and it is insane how like one player basically puts your entire city on the map of relevance and just makes you afraid.
Well, yeah.
Look what Steph Curry did to Golden State was like worth like $400 million when he got drafted, and now they're worth like $4 billion.
Yeah,
it's one player. I know they had Clay Ty. I get that.
Well, but the whole
basically
league,
it's
the value of
one
all
player.
franchises is higher than it was when he first got there.
100%.
Well, yeah, but it's astronomical what Steph Curry and that run did for that franchise. It's insane.
Well, I saw an article the other day. It was talking about former athletes, what they're worth now. And they were looking at Jordan. They showed his yacht and his cars and his plane. But a lot of his money when he bought Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
I think he bought it for like $125 million, and now it's worth $2.6 billion.
100%. Yeah, he bought. I think the number is 270. He bought the Hornets, or at the time the Bobcats, for, and now they're worth about $3 billion.
So why don't we buy a franchise?
Let's do it. Let's pool. What franchise are we going to buy? That's the thing.
Yankees.
Yankee. Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy
Hal
how
Steinbrenner.
like there are a few people in this world that can go, what franchise do you want to buy?
Right.
Any
the
franchise.
Suns are available. We can buy the Suns. We can all live in Phoenix. That'd be nice.
Live in Scottsdale and commute.
Wouldn't it just be the best job in the world to own a professional sports
My
team?
dream. My
Just the
dream is to
greatest
own
thing.
an NBA team. That would be.
But
the
wouldn't you
ultimate
get in
job.
the way of like the people you hired? I would always go, no, we're
You
trading
might.
for this. We're trading for this guy.
Plus, if one of us wins the Powerball this week, he could be a partner anyway.
Yeah, you can join the team.
Yeah.
You can join. You can be part of the investment team.
If there any franchise worth 300, let's say you win 400 million. Let's say you want to spend 300 million.
Nothing that we want.
Well, it's up to like 1.9 billion.
Yeah, the Suns are selling for about $4 billion.
So what can we buy here?
We could try to buy the Washington Commanders. I tried to on Balloon Party, and I said they should be called the Washington Bills because of the Bills they
Sure,
passed.
yeah,
And then I
legislation.
forgot that the team is already called the Bills.
Oh, well.
So
I'd be a miser even if I bought a team and I owned it and had that much money. I'd be like, wait a minute, did you just sign that ball and give it away? That's like $130 for those basketballs. Get that back.
You'd be that guy?
If I own a
You'd be
baseball,
penny pinching?
if I own a baseball
You'd be
team,
Charlie Comiskey?
I asked Bill DeWitt this question one time. I said, do you ever worry about all the baseballs they throw out after one? I said, those baseballs aren't cheap. I said, one scuff, they throw the ball out. Do you ever sit and say, no, use that ball again? You're throwing too many balls away. I said, no, never really.
Well, they
worry
probably
about
use
the
it for
budget.
they probably use it for batting practice.
Yeah, with this interview, as he was pulling into Seminole to get a quick 18 in.
You get the final out of the inning, you throw the ball into the stand. No, that's like $26. Throw that ball back here.
They probably get
they
them
probably
very
go
cheap.
through $500,000 a year in baseballs. I'd worry about that price.
I wouldn't. Every time a kid gets a ball, he's hooked. He thinks, oh, this is the greatest moment of his life.
Yeah.
Becomes a little bit bigger fan.
I caught a foul ball on my first games. It was at Shea Stadium, Doug.
Did you?
I got a Mets game with my family out there. David Wright hit a ball right at me and caught it. And, yeah, that's a special moment.
Yeah, it used to be a bit before they started throwing balls in the stands the entire game. It used to be a big deal if you get a foul ball.
Ottawa's
foul ball is different than
just
throwing
giving
it
it
to
away.
a fan. Yeah.
Right, yeah, foul ball is different.
If I owned a team, I'd have my whole stadium just covered in netting.
Oh,
you're not going to lose a penny on those balls. No. You're not walking away with Jack. Ottawa's up for sale, boys. Yeah, we could go buy the
Ottawa?
Senator. Yeah, go buy the Senators.
We'll
It's
probably
the
get an
capital of
MLS team for the Powerball winnings.
Yeah, we wouldn't technically own them, but we could be in charge
God,
of
the
them.
Cowboys are worth $7 billion.
Yeah.
And it seems to go up $1 billion every year now.
Oh, yeah.
FC
Well, anytime there's a
Barcelona.
new TV contract, they get a bigger piece of that.
Okay,
pie.
I'm looking at what we could buy.
Can we somehow acquire the Yankees?
The cheapest is the Browns in the top 50. It looks
How
like
much are they going for?
$2 billion.
We got that.
We put a down payment down anyway.
Yeah. What's the layaway program?
Now,
for
I wonder,
NFL
when somebody
teams?
buys a franchise, I wonder if they really do write a check for $2 billion. Or I'm sure they finance it.
Oh, yeah.
So we could finance it now with this money we're going to make tomorrow
Right,
night.
we can kind of pull the hood over their head and say, yeah, we got
We get
$4 or
$500
$5
million down,
Yeah.
and then we'll go to the Bank of America and ask for the other $3 billion, and then our franchise will be worth a couple billion more a few years from now, and then we'll cash out, and we'll all be billionaires.
Right.
Here's what you
TMA
could do.
presents the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, if you knew there was a bidding war for a team, and you get the team, and you're going back and forth, and they award it to you for $1.8 billion, and you know you could probably sell it for $2 billion. Do you go to a bank and say, all right, I just need to borrow $1.8 billion for like a day?
Per
Go in.
day.
Yeah, just give it to me for a day, and then the guy who I'm bidding against, I'm going to sell it to him for $2 billion. I'm going to make a quick $200 million. I have no money. I have no collateral. Just give me the 1.8. I'll give it back to you the next day.
I'm sure there have been many people who tried that. Fran Murray tried that when he was trying to buy an NFL expansion franchise for the Cardinals.
What do you go to Bank of America?
I guess. I think I'd like to buy the Oakland A's and move them to either Las Vegas or Nashville, and take your chances there and see if you couldn't double the value of that franchise in a better city.
Manfred's pretty outspoken, saying that he's not sure if they're going to stay in Oakland. So now Oakland has lost the Raiders. The Warriors have moved across the bay to San Francisco,
Right.
and they will most likely lose the Athletics.
Yeah.
That is, if you're an Oakland sports fan, that's rough.
Yeah.
You think we got it bad here because we lost a couple football teams.
At least the Warriors are still within half an hour.
Right, but it kind of is the San Diego LA thing where it's two completely different towns, even if they're bunched in together from an outside perspective. I know fans in Oakland, they wear the Oakland jerseys sometimes in Golden State, and it's kind of like a slap in the face to some Oakland fans. But you get it. I mean, why would you stay in Oakland when you can build a brand new stadium in San Francisco and double this franchise?
Yeah, you just quadruple your franchise, right there.
I can't imagine anything not working in Nashville right now.
Right.
As hot as that city
We were
is.
there last week. It's crazy,
It is nuts.
Yeah. I would think baseball would be next there. I think
They want
that's
a team really
natural.
bad.
That would be natural. Basketball would probably be the last domino to fall, but they have football and they have the NHL, and both are I mean, they set it up so well in Nashville. Like I've talked about before, like Bridgestone Arena is right at the beginning of this Broadway strip there. So once you're done with the game, you just pour out onto Broadway. That's unbelievable. And then Nissan Stadium, I think, is where the Titans play, and that's just right across that little river there.
Aren't they getting a new one? Aren't they building a new?
Yes, they are building a new stadium that looks like a rectangle. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that whole city is just on fire right now.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
You run a baseball team there and probably do really well.
It's where the average home is like $550,000 there now.
Is it really?
Well, that's average in a lot of places in the United States now.
Listening to Ken talk about money is like listening to a normal person talk about astrophysics.
Yeah.
It's from Arbor Day.
That's just how I think.
The Commanders are on sale for $7 billion. We can buy the Commanders.
They're worth $7 billion?
That's according to Sonia. Welp, I guess I'm going to jump on the text bandwagon because I want to give Doug a sponge bath. That's with my sponge being my tongue.
Oh!
From Engine Joe's Cave Ride Magic.
Okay, Engine Joe, how does the suspension feel? Not good, I'm sure. 2 days' time ought to set you in the right frame of mind, and your name just now is going into the suspension log queue.
This is the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Appliance Discounters, your hometown appliance source featuring major brands like G. And Doug, you just said, what will feel good. I know what would feel good, and that's going to Mentality. Going and checking out Mentality will make you feel good.
I would think it would. Yeah, hit the lever, Blouse.
Check out Mentality today at lowtusa.com. Go to lowtusa.com. Decreased mental acuity, attention span, and stress can cause focus issues on even the most simple tasks. Belly fat, feeling bloated, and a lack of lean muscle and tone that used to be easy to get rid of, or maintain low libido. If you're disinterested in your spouse or partner, it can cause relationship problems. Get it taken care of by going to lowtusa.com and working with Mentality. I went out there, and it could not have been easier. They could have been friendlier, and I was in and out in 15 minutes, got tested, and the normal range for testosterone is large. So if you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing for your free testosterone, it wasn't fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. It is at lowtusa.com.
I said it there at the end.
Someone said...
Almost fell off the stool.
We were talking about, I don't know why this text really makes me laugh, but Uncle Cucker said, turkey is the ditch carp of the bird world.
It is not. It's probably the best of the bird world.
I love turkey.
What bird tastes better than turkey?
Chicken.
God, dark meat, it's so dry.
No,
dark meat is moist.
Dark meat's the moist. White meat is dry.
I'm going to cook the turkey wrong.
Dark meat is what's moist.
Oh, it ain't moist to me, boy.
After taxing the cash lump sum and getting hit with taxes, that $1.9 billion for the Powerball will likely shrink to $600 million. You might get a share of the St. Louis Vipers with that. That's from a new poll eligible.
That's a lot of taxes.
I would love to. You hear Mark Cuban talks about buying the Mavericks for $200 million. Now they're worth $3 billion. You're like, that sounds like the greatest investment ever. You get to own a team.
Well, it would be, yeah.
Quadruple your money.
And George Steinbrenner bought the Yankees for, I'll have to check it out. It was like $8 million or something like that.
Well, the Cardinals.
Of course, we're going back 50 years now.
Right. So what's $8 million now? It's probably $80 million.
With the
Cardinals, it's still more than everybody has.
The Cardinals, the DeWitts paid $180 million, then sold the parking lots for $90 million.
I think $150 million was the original price, and then sold the parking lots for $90 million.
So you basically bought the franchise for $60, and now
yeah.
And you're talking about not spending money for Bryce Harper or Max Scherzer? Come on.
But they're spending money.
Yeah, the wrong places. Mike Leake.
Well, everybody makes mistakes.
Andrew Miller.
Nobody's perfect.
Tell me when to stop.
You know who doesn't really make mistakes? That's the fine folks over at Munganast. They don't.
No.
They'll come in and they won't make mistakes.
Oh,
we all work with them. Doug, Iggy. You guys know all about Munganast.
Hard to go anywhere else after you've been to Munganast.
Right.
You'll go there and go, why have I been going anywhere else?
Oh, they're amazing.
Especially if you get the service there. Doesn't matter what make of car you drive in there. They can fix them all. And, boy, they do it with a smile, and you can count on them. They're honest people. They're great people. It's just the best place in the world to go for your car.
I was driving the Corolla Hybrid, which I loved, And Jamie Burkhart texted me and said, we're going to swap you out for a 2022 RAV4 with winter coming. In case we get snowy, icy weather, this car automatically shifts into four-wheel drive during the conditions. So he was thinking of me.
Yes.
And that's what they do. They think of you. They will always take care of you.
How nice they are.
I call it peace of mind. You buy a car, you know you're fine. If something happens to the car, they are going to take care of you. So, yeah, they are great people.
Took care of me with a Toyota Highlander. Turbo. Boy, I'm ready to go. I can take on the world in this thing. I just love the Highlander as an SUV.
Oh, my
If you've not driven one, it's just a perfect car.
Yeah, my CRV has been on life support, and they have brought that baby back to life.
Yeah, the people over among us are the best. Whether it's a new car, pre-owned car, or get your car serviced either over the St. Louis, Acura, Alton, Toyota. You just take care of you. Jamie Burkhart, Clayton Patterson, Pierre Munganess. They are the best over at Munganess. Poor Leather cooked up that personal foul take all weekend. Braised it, let it simmer, only for it to be wrong. Take a lap, Bootsy. That's from Hakeem Olajuwon with a delayed text there.
I don't think it was wrong.
I see now on the George Steinbrenner Yankee thing, in 1973,
Okay, I have enough of that.
he paid, yeah, I've got some hot information. He paid $10 million in cash for the Yankees in 73. That was 3.2 less than what CBS spent 9 years earlier to get the team. So he spent $10 million on the team. Today, the team is believed to be worth 8.8. How much would it cost? $8 billion? It can't be that much.
So that's a decent return on investment. That's like, like if I buy some sneakers and sell them for like $50 more, I just think that's similar.
Yet in 1993, $10 million in cash was a king's ransom.
Really?
That was be like 100 million today, maybe. I don't know, maybe not.
Missouri winner would walk away with $535 million lump sum or $36 million a year for 30 years. Illinois winner would walk away with $539 or $36 for 30 years.
Where does the other guy? It just goes to that state that won, or just nationally?
Yeah, it goes to the schools. It's all going to the schools.
Like that to me is a huge ripoff. And I understand taxes, but like to not know where that other portion went.
The federal taxes, you'd pay those for starters. Then you'd pay the state taxes on income.
If the winner of Florida would that be income?
Probably wouldn't have to pay state taxes.
Right.
Same in Tennessee, Texas, Nevada.
I dare you to turn your phone off for the rest of the show. Bet you can't do it. It's from Mr. Licks.
Well, you shouldn't have to.
My phone has been off. So.
Yeah.
We'd love to turn you off.
Yeah, that'd be better.
I guess I could do that. You just
show.
Now I have to bring it in. I got to thank my friends Tara and Mike. Came by the breezeway last night, sat on the patio.
Oh, they did. Just dropped by.
Now this Tara has been on the show before, right?
Yes, Tara Savella.
She displayed her feet for Jennings Jr.
Yeah, Tara Savella.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's former makeup artist.
Oh, she lives there right where you are? Close?
Close. Well, they were going to a Sunday night football party. And Mike, her boyfriend, texted me and said, Iggy, we just bought new laptops yesterday. We have a Mac Pro. Would you want it? So the people who listen to the show don't have to make fun of you anymore for being on your phone.
Oh.
And I said, that's very nice of you. I said, they're still going to make fun of me when I open that up. They're going to say I'm watching porn on the computer, so it doesn't matter what. So they came by last night, and I got to bring it in for Jackson because it's all clean. It's got to be downloaded and everything, so I have no clue.
What has to be downloaded?
Well, I think you have to download Apple and all this other stuff on there, so...
What?
No, it'll be on there.
It's still, I got to have Jackson look at it.
The sense of I have to download Apple
Everything
on my MacBook Pro.
Just turn it on. It should work.
That was just terminology salad right there. You just said I have to download Apple.
We opened it last night, and it said I had to open up Wi-Fi, and I didn't know what my Wi-Fi was. And when I did, I don't know what the password is. I don't know how to.
You don't know the password.
That's a
password.
I can't help
nothing
you
Apple can do.
You have a router at home or a modem. You've got those two things, right?
Yeah.
Your password will be on one of those. It'll be on a sticker on one of those.
Yeah, I know. It's something stupid.
But if you want to use a computer, you're going to need it. So you got to bend over and pick it up, see what the password is.
I'll figure it out. But I now have a laptop.
Why don't they give me the computer? I know at least how to turn it on.
There's times Doug was walking in here with his desktop computer.
Apple.
Yeah, he'd bring a box in.
Right.
Carrying a box in every day.
I wish I could afford an Apple laptop.
Yeah, so a listener gave you what I assume to be a 4-digit laptop.
Oh, I didn't check price.
They're expecting sexual favors in return.
No, they were just very nice.
Or for you to know how to turn
Mike
it on.
had just bought him and Tara brand new laptops and said, we have this Mac Pro. Would you want it? I'm not going to turn down a Mac Pro.
No.
No, I'm currently I'm holding a MacBook Pro.
Yeah,
It's a very nice little gift.
Came over, sat in the breezeway, had a cup of coffee, and just relaxed and talked and chatted.
And you told him I love the computer, but I couldn't be bothered to find out what my password is. So I
don't know what my password is. So
Just got my brand new iPhone. What a bitch it was to download that Apple. Wow. It's from Flocky the Smurf.
Look, I've never owned a laptop, so I don't know.
Okay. You've had home computers, though, right? You got a home desktop?
Yeah.
Same thing. Works same way.
Jackson's face when he realized he was Iggy's personal IT department was great. That's from Andrew Long.
Well, I used him this morning.
How does one download Apple?
I used him this morning. I can't find an email, my Hubbard email. It was a.
Well, that you'll have to work on.
It was a gift certificate that I need to print out, and it disappeared. I can't find the email.
Oh, if you have to make an Apple ID though, even I get annoyed and confused with that. Yeah. Like your Apple ID,
that's what I have to do.
Your password has to be so confusing to where you can't. If you don't write it down right that second, you will forget it.
Sure you will.
It can't have like two of the. It is. The Apple ID is a scam, and save that password immediately.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. I have to make an Apple thing.
The uncut gremlin asking his 24-year-old boss to download Solitaire on his MacBook is a new low. That's from Iggy's first victim.
I don't believe that the word solitaire came out of my mouth.
I don't like to brag, but I spent my Saturday evening having some cocktails with the Orthwines in the breezeway. The Von Gontards are hogging the community grilling area, so we just made our own space. Plenty of room for me to do my Caesar salad station. Dogs are still barking from dancing with everyone's daughters. What a night. That's from Arbor Day.
Well, this was last night. It wasn't Saturday night.
You had a nice little time out there, though, didn't you?
There was no dancing.
You had a fabulous time.
Jackson, are you concerned about having to touch the mobile masturbation command center? That's from the 314.
Yeah, have you ever been able to go mobile?
I haven't used
your
it yet.
sessions? Because you don't use your phone, you said. So now you can kind of go anywhere, in your apartment with this laptop.
Just like I do. Carry my desktop around.
But I have my desktop in the apartment.
So what are you going to use the MacBook for? Are you going to bring it into here?
I think I'll just bring it in here and let it in here.
Yeah.
Maybe have you download Adobe Audition on there. Maybe put some of the things from here, and I can edit stuff at home if I have to.
There you go. Yeah,
Get yourself a wireless mouse for sure.
Apple is very user-friendly. It's not very difficult, all this stuff. So I can help you at the beginning, but I don't think you're going to struggle too much.
I bought a new laptop 6 months or so ago. It was like one of these $250 Microsoft Windows laptop.
Yeah.
The first time I used it, it got a virus that is just haunting me to this very day. No matter what I try to do, virus,
Yeah,
virus.
my
Download
girlfriend tried to do it with her school, and like when she was going to school for interior design, and it just was not the same as.
That's the beauty of Apple is they've got a much better handle on how to keep the viruses off your computer.
I mean that's it's simple. Like everyone, like I have friends in the tech sector, Doug, and they'll always tell me about like, oh, this computer is so much better than Apple's, or that computer is way better, or all these things are better than Apple computers. You're a dinosaur. I'm like, well, I've used Apple forever, and it's really easy for me to figure it out. And I like blue text. I like sending my friends blue text.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I like the blue iMessage text.
You got a virus the first day?
First day.
What's that?
It's almost unusable today. And I guess I should pay for McAfee. How much is that a month now? They're going to get me for to clean it all up.
That is crazy.
Most computers already come with that.
Not good enough.
Norton Security or something like that.
Antivirus already in there.
You got to pay for it.
Now, it depends on what I'm looking for. Every once in a while, I'm looking for some really old Princess Fierce videos.
I'm sorry?
She's been on the show before, Princess Fierce.
Adbot.
Princess Fierce Adbot.
You're going to ruin that computer, you know that.
But I look for old school Fierce because I know she's done some sex stuff in the back. Now
vintage Fierce.
You imagine typing that in on Google.
Old school Fierce.
The halcyon days.
And every time I think I find one, old school Fierce, whatever, I click on it. Just when I'm ready to start, it's almost like, doot, 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 warning, Will Robinson, warning, Will Robinson.
Will Robinson?
It's like Lost in Space. And it's just, boot, boot, boot. Oh, God. And you X out of it, and you figure, okay, you just restart the computer. There's something on there, though. It's lingering. Or it's going to pop up at some point.
When you got to restart your computer because it pops up,
It's like they know that I'm looking for, wait till he looks for Fierce. He'll get excited that we found something. And doot, doot, doot.
That desktop in Iggy's apartment has got to be one to set on fire to be put out of its misery. That's from Dogtown Astrovan.
Oh, I bet that computer is dying.
There is no antivirus software strong enough to battle the kind of crap Iggy will be downloading. That's from Mr. Weiss.
McAfee will get penetrated in the first 15 seconds.
They'll go out of business. Norton shut down as well.
They can't handle
There's
it.
nothing worse than anybody else searches for.
There's this really good audio clip I love. I think it's funny. Just cut before the show. It's of Washington UW, as they call it. Their quarterback, Michael Penix. They're talking about his arm, and it's just unfortunate timing. So just here, let's take a listen.
Love to sit.
You guys are talking about Michael Penix's arm, rightfully so. It is unbelievable. He's got massive hands, long arms, and he's windproof. You guys would have no clue how windy it was here in the first half. And Michael Penix's arm, it's like a hot knife through butter, man.
Pass is going to be picked up. Here comes Oregon State. And the Beavers race it all the way back to the end zone.
God.
Well, I was watching. I saw it on Twitter this weekend, and it's got to be the worst timing of a broadcast because it literally happened. Like, that's not an edited clip. It happened 1 second after he did it, and it was such a duck. Like, it was the clearest, easiest interception I've ever seen, just right over the middle. Oh, it's unfortunate for Michael Penix Jr.
Sure.
Former Hoosier.
Is he?
Oh, yeah, he went to Indiana.
Bazelak forced him out?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can have a good arm and still throw an interception. Brett Favre set the record for interceptions, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, he's had several 20-plus interception seasons.
But there's those weird stats out there all the time, like what is it? Cy Young is the leader in wins and losses.
Yeah.
And is it Nolan Ryan's the leader in strikeouts and walks?
Probably so.
Yeah.
And the best hitters lead all-time strikeouts.
Well, LaRusso, when they bring it up, second winningest manager in baseball. He's got the third most losses, too.
Right.
And anytime you're going to manage or play that long, it's going to happen.
And he coached a team that cheated 100 years ago. Dick.
Well, I'm not over it yet, frankly.
How are we supposed to root
I can't
for
look at the White Sox the same.
I hate Chicago, not because of the Cubs.
Got to carry that Black Sox scandal with them all the way 100 years later.
Until they move.
Oh, man. This is the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we'll have Gabe DeArmond here in about, 5 minutes. We'll talk to him about Missouri's loss to Kentucky. And you know what I'm going to do since I'm running point?
No.
I'm going to ask a basketball question or two. And there's not going to be a soul is going to stop me. What, the team tips off the season against the tough bunch from Southern Indiana.
I bet Gabe would love to talk hoops. I bet he is dying for this hoop season to start so we can stop talking.
I was texting him about it yesterday, and he was like, "Can we talk a little basketball?"
Is James coming in?
James Carlton will be in studio. James Carlton presents Gabe DeArmond every week here on TMA on Mondays, and of course on Balloon Party on Fridays. Balloon Party will be handled by I'm not sure, either Randy or Carrie are going to go long, or BK and Ferrari are going to start early. So you'll have that on 101. Of course, you'll have Pepper and Genie coming up. I guess I can do Pepper and Genie with you boys today, since I will not be doing Balloon Party.
We haven't thought of a topic just yet.
That's fine. I'm here and I'm ready for it.
How about the biggest mistake of your life?
You pitched that one before.
I think we've done that.
Yeah, we've had that before.
We've done several oh no moments
have
on
you?
P&G about our time as Wild the Youths, and I think we've hit that.
Now, what are you doing, Iggy?
I had something.
A shrub? Is there a shrub on your
hitting the microphone?
I looked at him a corner right.
It's dust.
Brushing the microphone.
Like a cat, like a
like
toy.
you were sending a signal.
Oh, I was doing some ASMR. Let me brush that mic.
Anyone else with skin crawling?
That's ASMR.
And ASMR is supposed to get you excited or put you to sleep?
No, relax you.
It depends on who's doing it.
Oh.
If it's ting ting,
some people put to sleep. Some people
chub
just
mode.
Relax, just give you a tingle in the back of your neck.
Could we have a longer example, please?
Yeah, please.
Let me clean you. You look a little dirty.
Oh.
Clip that off.
Let me get a little bit up here. A little bit on the side. How does that feel? Now let me get the top right where the bangs are. Good night.
Oh, we're going to have to charge extra for this show.
I mean, this...
Who wants to go private?
Everyone, probably.
The Tigers lose a heartbreaker. We got teams tipping off. The Astros just won the World Series. Matt Holliday's been named the bench coach.
Right.
And the Blues take on a tough matchup in Boston, and we have one of our hosts doing live ASMR, brushing the microphone.
Yeah.
Think of it
If
funny
this isn't good radio, I don't know what
No,
is.
it's
Would it
very
awesome
good.
if Gabe was still on the air,
Yeah, we just did that. We're sorry, Gabe. We have to cut into our ASMR. It's sponsored.
I can't wait till our shower curtains come in from Amazon so we can go private after some of these sessions. I just think it'd be a nice moneymaker for us.
Yeah, I agree. Someone says we need an adult in the room. Sonia says creepy. I feel uncomfortable. Knock it off, icky man. That's
ASMR is not creepy. It's not a creepy thing.
It isn't. No.
There's, I don't know. I would have to go probably 80 million people in the United States probably into ASMR.
That's a lot of creeps.
Tiny
But you don't do creepy.
No. Ting Ting has 3.5 million followers.
Oh, wow.
And she does ASMR videos.
Well, that's enough internet for me today. That's from Tiny People. Says I just went midnight to 6. That's from the Hollies Hills Hustler.
Would that be...
Cringe.
Yeah, that'd be down.
That was not exotic. Only creepy as hell. That's from the 8:30 Recreator. Well, I think that's a strong way to close out the segment.
Well,
I think that's going to do it. We're going to have Gabe DeArmond, presented by James Carlton on the other side of the break, talking a lot of Mizzou football. And, I'm going to sprinkle them up, pepper in.
No worries.
I'm just going to kind of intersperse some hoops talk in there, talk about Tigers, what they got coming up. And,
I'll see you about 9:30.
Yeah, so that's coming up on the other side of the break. That's going to close out our appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour. We'll have the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour coming up on the other side of the break. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com.
The best authentic Southwestern cuisine awaits you at Santa Fe Bistro in Creve Coeur. Open for lunch and dinner with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6, and Saturdays, 2:30 to 4. Daily drink and entree specials and 72 tequilas, as well as a vast selection of beer on draft and by the bottle. Wear a jersey or team gear for Blues and NFL games and get a free drink with the purchase of an entree. Nothing says authentic Southwestern cuisine quite like Santa Fe Bistro, west of 270 on Olive. Same plaza as the old TGI Fridays location. Full menu at SantaFeBistroMO.com.
This is Tim McKernan. I'd like to tell you about a company I started just a couple of years ago and I still own. And it's called Sound Story. It's essentially a 1-hour interview that we do either in person or via Zoom with mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They come in and they tell their stories, education, growing up, and of course, family stories, the wisdom that they can share with their loved ones for generations to come. It's an audio heirloom. It's Sound Story. To learn more, go to mysoundstory.com. Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and right now, this is a unique time, and I'm here with Ryan Kelly. And Ryan, what can you tell our listeners about this moment in American history?
Well, it's the perfect time to buy a house. Yeah. When you think about that, knowing that you can get a house significantly less today than a year ago, I mean, that's a win-win, right? And mortgage rates are definitely a little higher than they were a year ago. But at thehomeloanexpert.com, we have a saying, you marry the house, you date the rate. Got questions? Ready to get pre-approved? Let's talk. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperini. Pepperini.
And now the Pepperini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Strode. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour?
HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. The most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Get the TMA mobile app and enable notifications so you don't miss a thing. See our content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Stream us on the TMA mobile app and at TMASTL.com.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. And James, I love getting emails from listeners who support the sponsors. I got one last week from a client of yours who switched, and you immediately saved him $1,000, and it meant the world to him.
The area that we're really having an impact on people's finances are people with drivers under the age of 25. We're seeing material savings for these types of clients, hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars per year.
James Carlton, Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net.
Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Doug, were they playing this at Roadkill on Saturday?
They should have. I think it would give the team a lift.
Instead of playing Narco, which is the Edwin Dion song on third down, they should be playing this. This would strike fear into the opponent. Maybe the game would have gone the other way. Well, we have a guest on to talk about that here on our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. Catch the game in the Pint in one of the 2 locations, Sunset Hills or downtown. We, of course, have the Colonel, Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com. Gabe, there's no Tim today, so you have to deal with the rest of us dummies.
I mean, it might be better. We'll wait and see. I'll give you a review in about 15 minutes.
All right, perfect. They were not playing Missouri by the great Tina E on Saturday as the Tigers fall to the Wildcats. Do you think that was a miss there, Gabe?
I don't support anything that means less Timmy Trumpet in my life. I'm a big fan of the third down.
I am too. And unfortunately, Mizzou was only 2 or 13 on their third downs. Gabe, from your perspective, I think a lot of people, of course, are going to be talking about the roughing the kicker call. But from your perspective, analyze the ways Missouri kind of lost that game, because Kentucky was, it was out there for Missouri to win. How did you see it all go down?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of focus on the last call. There should be. I get why there is. By the letter of the law, it was probably the right call. I don't really like the rule. I know Ben Fredrickson wrote about that in the Post-Dispatch. The rule should be changed. It's a bad rule if that's the right call, and it probably was the right call. I don't know how you can teach Will Norris to do much of anything other than what he did in that situation. So you don't really blame anybody necessarily, but it's a really unfortunate deal. The other thing to remember is, okay, if there's no flag on that play, Missouri takes over at whatever the 30, 35-yard line. They still got to go 30, 35 yards for a touchdown, and I don't know if they would have or not. They might have, but that offense hadn't done a whole lot to tell me they would. And that's the deal. It's the same game we've seen, 3 or 4 other times this year. It's just the defense was really, really good, but Missouri needs it to be perfect because the offense does almost nothing to help them out. They had a couple touchdown drives. Brady Cook had one really nice TD run, and they do deserve some credit for that. But the expectation just shouldn't be, well, they scored 17 points. That's good enough. No, that's not good. You're not usually going to win games that way, and that's why Missouri's sitting 4-5.
On that punt play, I'm sure the people that make the rules and the officials would tell you the reason that's the rule is evidenced by the fact that the punter had to be taken out on a cart, that you're really vulnerable when you punt, whether, the guy knows that you're about to punt or not. You've got to do something to protect those guys.
I get it, but once the ball is on the ground and it's gone, 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage, what is Will Norris supposed to do in that situation? I guess he's supposed to dive and try to block the kick, but like you said, he has no idea the guy is going to try to kick the ball. I was shocked, first of all, that he didn't kick it out the back of the end zone and take the safety.
Right.
That's what I thought he was going to do at first. And then when he picked it up, I mean, it's actually, I guess, a pretty good play by the kid to get a punt off. Now, I don't think it was the right play. You know, I think maybe there should be a rule, and I honestly don't know where the ball landed because we were looking back at the flag and everything. I didn't pay attention to the kick because I knew it didn't matter at that point. But, you know, intentional grounding, if the quarterback doesn't get a ball to the line of scrimmage, even if he's out of the pocket, even if everything else is okay, if the ball doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage, it's intentional grounding if he's doing it to avoid a sack. So in that situation, I don't know, maybe if you don't punt the ball to the original line of scrimmage, it's not a penalty. And the other problem with the rule is, as they explained it to Drinkwitz, it was a penalty because he was between the tackles. So if that snap had bounced 4 yards further to the right and the exact same play happens 4 yards away from where it happened, it's not a penalty. Like, what sense does that make?
Right. It's a totally, even if it is the rule, it's certainly not in the spirit of the rule, and it really did cost Missouri. Now, third down, Drinkwitz was very adamant to discuss that in his post-game press conference. Do you think that their issues in either short yardage situations or on third down are more of a play calling thing, or is it Brady Cook is indecisive and can't find that, you know, the player to get it, throwing it past the sticks? A lot of times it seems like a 5 yard out, about 5 yards short of the first down marker is the play. What do you see on third downs that Mizzou needs to improve on?
Yeah, I don't want to say it's just Brady Cook, but some of it's probably play calling, some of it's execution. You know, and whether that's Brady Cook, whether that's the line, whether that's the running back, the receiver, I'm sure they all share in it. I probably, if you look at the all-22, you can go back and find some times on third down and first and second where, hey, there were receivers open and he didn't see them, and he threw to a different guy. I'm sure that happens a decent number of times. It seems like from people that are watching that it probably happens more with Missouri than it does with a lot of teams. I thought the one that really got everybody, I think, was 3rd and 10 on what ended up being more or less Missouri's last possession. I mean, we don't include the last, lateral circus, which was fun.
It was.
But doesn't count. But they're 3rd and 10, and obviously the primary read on that play is not a swing pass to Cody Schrader with almost no blocking. Mm-hmm. That's what they ended up throwing. Now, is that because everybody was covered? I don't know. But that's almost a situation where even if everybody isn't covered, you kind of want to go, well, just throw something to the sticks. But the flip side of that is, okay, if he does that and it gets picked off, then the game is over. Whereas without that penalty on the punt, Missouri would have gotten the ball back. Now, I don't think they, if it's just a normal punt and all that, I don't really think they would have gone 70 yards. And kind of the last thing on that, I mean, Missouri fans are very focused for obvious reasons about, just another, oh, my God, how did we lose a game this way? Let's say that penalty isn't called. The story today is, oh, my God, all Kentucky had to do was snap the ball to its punter, and they couldn't. Sure. So I think a lot of Missouri fans say this only happens to us. Well, it very nearly happened to Kentucky as well.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Now, looking more towards the future of everything, news broke Saturday morning that Eli Drinkwitz has signed a contract extension. From your perspective, is that, in your mind, like more of a recruiting security thing, or do you believe that the AD and the boosters are very confident in Drinkwitz for the future?
Well, we don't know that yet because the first thing I did after posting about that extension is file an open records request with the university to see the contract. I don't have it yet. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful I'll get it today. But his previous contract called for, if the school fired him, they owe him 70% of the remaining money on the contract. So they were not going to fire him after this season. But if they did, they would have owed him $8.4 million. After next season, it would have been $5.6 million. So what I want to see is what's the buyout language of this extension. If it changes that bottom line significantly, in other words, if now after next year instead of $5.6 million, Missouri would owe him $9.6 million, then it's an indication that, hey, they really believe in this thing and that's where it's going. Now, I would question why they would do that at this time. So my guess is it's probably something that adds 2 more years but doesn't significantly change the price tag if Missouri needs decides it needs to move on, in which case it's just window dressing for recruits. I mean, Barry Odom signed a contract extension in December of 2018 and was fired in December of 2019.
Right.
They agents and coaches always like to say, well, I have to have 4 years on my contract so I can go into a recruit's living room and tell them, hey, I'm going to be the coach here forever. Now, the real flaw in this process is that I guess recruits believe that when coaches say it. I don't know. It's not the truth. It's no more true this morning than it would have been true Friday morning. You know, I mean, hey, Jimbo Fisher can walk into any kid's living room in the country and say, I'm guaranteed to be here for 8 more years. Well, I'm not sure you're guaranteed to be there for 8 more weeks, but, you know, say whatever you want to say, and if they believe it, good for you.
It is nice to be a coach, though, isn't it, when they have to pay $8.6 million? If they fire you when you've never had a winning season and you're 15 and 17 and you're 3 years at Mizzou and you're talking about that kind of money?
I don't know if it's great to be a coach, but it would be great to be a fired coach.
Yeah.
You know, it really is the only business I can think of, and there's probably more, but it's the only job I can think of where instead of being paid for what you have accomplished, you are being paid for what you maybe will accomplish later on. I mean, and everything's like that a little bit, but it's just not the money we're dealing with now. I mean, you know, even like these ridiculous free agent contracts that were signed by so many baseball players over the years, like, you know, when Pujols got the deal from the Angels or A-Rod got the deal, like, they got that deal because they had been incredible players for 7 or 8 years, and the likelihood was that they weren't going to be quite as good in that next phase, but you're paying for what the guy has already done. Here, we're talking, like you said, I mean, look, Eli Drinkwitz may go on to be a phenomenal football coach. He hasn't yet shown that he is, but he is now under contract for 5 more years. It's the only business I can think of that's done that way, honestly.
Now, Gabe, I have a hypothetical I'm going to throw out, and you can trash and grill me because that's why we love having you on the show. We like open, honest, transparent conversation.
Seems like a decent chance that'll happen.
Is this a uniform question?
It is not. I will never throw a uniform question out the Gabe. But I let's say, you know, Blake Baker, what he's done to this defense, I love watching them play. They are absolute ball hawks. I mean, it's amazing what this defense was a calendar year ago to it is now. So let's say there's a very similar season on the horizon next year for Missouri. Fantastic defense, offense still struggling. Blake Baker ain't going to have a lot of head coaching opportunities, even though he just signed that extension last week. Is there a situation where Missouri has to pick between Blake Baker and Eli Drinkwitz? And I know that's weird, but I'm saying, what if Blake Baker decides he wants to stay but in a head coaching role? You have a guy that is clearly and I get it. If that situation ever going to cross their mind, are they going to let Blake Baker walk for a head coaching job, you know, next year, 2 years from now, what have you?
I just don't see a scenario where you're firing Eli Drinkwitz, who had 1 year of experience as a head coach when you hired him, to hire Blake Baker, who has 0 years of head coaching experience. Look, if they have to move on from Drinkwitz, they've got to hire a guy who's done this before, who has a little bit of a track record.
That's a good. I appreciate you being as nice as possible with me on that.
Be gentle.
Hey, Gabe, a positive and then a somewhat negative that you wrote about on Saturday. A positive, if we reflect back to November 7th of last year, would you agree that you feel better about this team's direction sitting here today than you did a year ago? I mean, they haven't lost an SEC game by more than 1 possession. Conversely, you wrote about Sam Horn. I think Brady Cook had about 25 yards passing in the first half.
Yeah, something like that.
If Sam Horn isn't good enough to get some snaps in the second half, coming off that first half performance, like you said in your column on Power Mizzou, it's a little concerning about his prospects in the future. Share a little bit of your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, there are reasons that you can point to that you say, hey, this is why I feel good. Is this a better team than last year's team? It is. I don't know by how much, but it's at least incrementally better than it was a year ago. But the issue is, and this is true in the NFL too, but I think it's even more true in college, you can't win without good quarterback play. I mean, you don't have to have Bryce Young back there, but you do have to have, you know, above average quarterback play to go win at the level that these teams are trying to win at. And we know right now Missouri doesn't have that, and we don't know if it has it on its roster. We have no choice but to believe Eli Drinkwitz that, look, Brady Cook is our best chance to win games right now. I mean, He probably is. I have no idea. I haven't seen Sam Horn do anything, or Tyler Macon, or really Jack Abraham for that matter. But if you trust the coach that, hey, this is our best option to win games, okay, now there are only two possible solutions or two possible answers to that. Number one, he's right, which that kind of scares you for the future as far as, okay, so what are you going to do at quarterback next year? Because look, 5-7 next year with one of the most anemic offenses in college football, that's not going to be good enough, and he will deserve to get fired if that's the case. Flip side, okay, well, maybe Drinkwitz is wrong, and maybe he's not playing the right quarterback. Well, that's just as concerning, if not more. I mean, a year ago when Connor Bazelak was out there walking around on one leg and all that, everybody said, well, just play somebody else. It can't be worse. Now, this season, all those same people are saying, oh, well, now we see why he played Bazelak. So if we get a year down the road and we're saying, oh, well, when we wanted Brady Cook benched, well, now we see why he wasn't benched, then this thing ain't going the right way. The other possibility, obviously, is that, hey, Sam Horn's not really ready this year, but he'll be ready next year. Or you do go out and find a transfer quarterback, and maybe that means Sam Horn isn't the future of this thing, but whatever it is, quarterback has to be right next year. Or at least there have to be visible signs that it's headed the right direction. If there aren't, I don't know how it goes much beyond next year.
What is Sam Horn's redshirt situation? If he were to play now, would he lose a year of eligibility?
No, you can play in up to 4 games. He could take every snap the rest of the season, and he would be a redshirt freshman next year.
Oh, so is there a chance that they held him back until now because of that?
I don't think so. I mean, look, he's not making this. I can't imagine he makes his first appearance on the road at the team that was number 1 in the country.
Probably not.
3 days ago. So could he play at New Mexico against New Mexico State? You would hope he can, because you would hope Missouri would be up 4 or 5 touchdowns. Right. But other than that, I mean, let's say you go into the Arkansas game at 5-6, you're playing for a bowl game. I don't think at that point you're going, it doesn't matter. Sam Horn can go out there. So I think he maybe is going to see time in one game. And it would be a benefit to fans if they had seen more of him, just so they could have some idea of what they're going to get. But there's a kid at North Carolina this year. His name's Drake May. He threw 10 passes last year as a true freshman. Redshirted, barely saw the field, all that. He has 31 touchdowns and 3 picks this year. And is a dark horse Heisman contender. So just because Horn isn't playing doesn't mean necessarily that he's not good enough. Now, the difference there is last year North Carolina had Sam Howell, who went into the season as, thought to be a Heisman candidate and a first-round draft pick. I think the reason Missouri fans are so panicked and so high on Sam Horn is simply, this is bad quarterback play and bad offense. So it's not like you're going, hey, they're scoring 30 points a game, but I'd like to see what the next guy has. No, is it really going to be worse by throwing the other guy out there? And maybe it would be. I don't know.
Gabe, 61,000, just a little over 61,000, the reported attendance for the game against Kentucky, which is a little surprising on a cold, wet, windy.
Well, that is, to be fair, it's tickets sold. There were not 61,000 people there.
Was the energy at least high? I mean, you were at the game. Did you feel energy being high for an 11 a.m. kickoff against Kentucky?
It wasn't like the Georgia game or the Vandy game, and frankly, for 3 quarters, it was really boring. It was a decent crowd. I didn't really look around and say, I wonder how many of these 61,000 are here. But, hey, everybody reports tickets sold. So when you say 61,000, people go, well, that's tickets sold. Well, yeah, that's what everybody does.
Right. That's the only thing you can really go off of.
Right. It's how you report attendance, and it's really all they care about. They'd like you to show up and be loud, but they got the money from 61,000 people. So that's all that really matters. And I've said a number of times this year, look, Missouri fans, I have been hard on them they deserve a ton of credit. They have set they've had the highest attendance of the Drinkwitz era in the last 3 home games. They've reset it each of the last 2 home games. For a team that, frankly, isn't very good and isn't very exciting and hasn't given them a ton of reasons to show up, not just this year, but for the previous 7. They're showing up. It is now on the team and the school and the coach to give them reasons to continue to do so.
Shifting gears a little bit here, Gabe, as you know, I am a huge basketball guy, and we start the Dennis Gates era tonight against Southern Indiana. Only 3 returning players from last year: the brothers Brown, Caleb and Kobe, and Ronnie DeGray. So, and Dennis Gates is certainly from the Leonard Hamilton School of Coaching, where you're going to be playing about 10 to 11 guys. Who are some guys to look for tonight? Some new faces for Missouri that fans should be a little excited for.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 2 point guards in Nick Honor and Sean East. I think Honor is going to be the starting point guard, but East can play on or off the ball. You know, both those guys. Demoy Hodge is a transfer from Cleveland State that I think can shoot it, heated up in the second half a little bit, made 3 3-pointers. Everybody knows Isaiah Mosley, the Columbia kid who went to Missouri State for 3 years. He's back now. So Noah Carter transferred in from Northern Iowa. Maybe some St. Louis people familiar with him with the Valley tournament being over there and all that. So, you know, those are some of the new guys. Kobe Brown is still going to be the focal point here. He had 25 and 11 against WashU on Friday night. So he's still, I think, going to be the go-to guy. But there are some other pieces, and it's just going to be interesting because we do know so little about this team.
Right.
How did WashU hold up against Missouri? Was it competitive?
You know,
we got 30 balls.
Well, they were for a little over a half. I mean, I think early in the second half, you know, it was like a 9-point game, something like that. Missouri then went on like a 15-0 run and really stretched it out. But, you know, Gates said he thought his guys were nervous, you know, and he thought it showed. I mean, they shot 5 for 18 from three-point range, but they got anything. They shot like 70% inside the 3-point arc. They scored like 60-some-odd points in the paint, which is what they should do against WashU, you know. So I think just good experience for the WashU kids to come and face a high-major team. And, you know, Missouri gets to get out there. And I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, Gates said he was intentionally, like, pulling guys from the rotation before they could get in a rhythm because he wanted to see how they'd react and stuff. So clearly was experimenting with a lot of things that he won't do in a game that counts.
Right. And I think something that at least I focused on from the scrimmage against, or the exhibition game against WashU, was Aiden Shaw, 4-star recruit, who was to stay with Mizzou after Konzo was fired, was big. He got 9 minutes. Could you see Aiden Shaw being a guy who's going to have to earn some playing time, or is this kind of what Dennis Gates does, where he's always going to have fresh legs in and it doesn't matter who you are?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the 10 or 11 that will be in the rotation, but he's going to have to earn his way into that top 6 or 7 as opposed to being, you know, 8 through 11.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden's got crazy athleticism. He's 6'9", which nobody else who played more than 2 minutes can say on this team. They need the size, but he is also, look, he's a freshman. He's very skinny. He needs a year in the weight room. Like, if that guy's your starting power forward or center in SEC play, like, some of these big guys are going to shove him around. So, you know, I think he definitely has a role on this team, but you know, outside of Kobe Brown and probably Nick Honor, I'm not sure I can point to any one person and say I'm confident that guy plays 25 minutes a game.
Right. Even someone like Isaiah Mosley, who is very highly touted in the transfer portal, and that's kind of like what Gates does. Is he's like I said, Leonard Hamilton, rotate guys. It'll be fun to see, Doug. It'll be fun to see.
I enjoy that kind of coach. It makes everybody play a little harder when you know you're not. If you're only playing 7, 8 guys.
Right. The Gates era is going to be officially start tonight at 7 o'clock against Southern Indiana. So you can catch that. And you can also read Gabe DeArmond on PowerMizzou.com. Gabe, thank you for joining us as always, sir. It's a pleasure. How do we do Sans Tim?
Well, just tell him to stay home. I don't want him to stay sick. Just tell him to stay home.
Wow. Wow. You're a champion.
Not a lemming.
You're a
Very
champion.
nice.
Thanks as always, Gabe.
All right, guys. We'll see.
All right, thanks, Gabe.
James.
Good morning.
Well, I mean, just another heartbreaker. Another heartbreaker.
That was brutal. Have you guys seen the Mississippi State fans' YouTube video about breaking down that third down play that Kentucky ran where they were clearly a yard short?
Yard and a half. Like, it actually might have been closer to 2 yards.
This guy is so convinced that the refs had money on this game because he's right on the line. He's literally on the linear part of where the ball was stopped, and as he's running to mark the ball, clearly swayed a full yard over. It was something else, and I just love hearing that dialect.
And that was still Drinkwitz's fault in the end because you could have easily challenged it. I was shocked.
Unbelievable. I was there, so I didn't realize how close this was.
Right, on TV, it was like everyone's like, you're screaming at the TV, like, like, this is so clearly like...
Somebody's got to be up there looking at this stuff.
If you're down by 14, I get it, but this is a one-possession game. Almost the entire, actually, literally the entire game was a one-possession tilt. You need every yard. I mean, literally, I hate saying every yard count, but in this game,
it was a big yard.
That's a big yard.
A game of inches, man.
Yeah, it's not just that the officials hate Mizzou. God hates Mizzou.
Yeah, he does.
Things happen to Mizzou
with that kick.
Yes, things happen that just don't happen to other schools.
Yeah. James, you were at the game. The atmosphere, in your opinion?
I mean, it was tough. It was so windy and cold.
So windy.
Oh my God!
I left St. Louis at 65.
You got there and it was 55.
It was brutal, but the sun came out in the second half, and Mizzou's offense woke up a little bit. And yeah, that's a heartbreaking way to lose. It really was, because I mean, I thought at least we were getting the ball at like the 30, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, you couldn't have flipped the emotions any harder, because you see the ball go sailing over the puncher's head, and immediately you're like, all right, here we go. Here's our moment to score, either scoop it up and score or get the ball at the 1 or whatever, or he takes a safety and kicks it out the back of the end zone.
Which he should have done. That would have been a smart play.
Right.
Look,
yeah, go ahead.
Louisiana Tech's terrible, but what they did with that playbook, I don't know why they don't do it. Burden was in the Wildcat a ton. I know it's Louisiana Tech,
and
they
looks
they
a lot
were
better against them than it does against the SEC team.
I get it, but even then, this is Vanderbilt and Kentucky. They're not light years ahead of. I mean, you should really start giving Luther Burden the ball in Wildcat form. If you're afraid for him to get hurt, then never play him again and just shove him to the NFL on the practice squad. Because honestly, if you're wanting to be competitive, you have to give your lone 5-star recruit on the roster a chance. And 5-yard out patterns of him potentially trying to break free and catch the ball from an inaccurate Brady Cook just doesn't work. Get this dude into a rhythm. Give him 10 Wildcat snaps. Even if you only get 2 yards of rush, at least he's involved.
I feel like a broken record saying it. It feels like a lot, but Luther Burden does rank for true freshmen up in the top 1 or 2 in basically every category.
I get it, but on this team, you need more than you need him to be significantly more than any other freshman, because Lovett is good, but you got to have a Robin to a Batman. You just can't have Dominic Lovett, who's not a huge guy.
No, nobody is.
Breakaway speed, yeah, but Burden needs to get involved. I'm just shocked that Louisiana Tech, it looked like they gave him every opportunity to get as many touches as possible. And they just, after that, it disappeared from the playbook. And I just don't get it.
James, after the game, you hit the party scene pretty hard. You go to Harpo's, Taco Bell, or anything?
Booked it straight back.
Oh, you did?
Back, yeah. Yeah, I enjoy going down there, but that's a tough drive home after that kind of loss. It really is.
After any loss, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, but I'm used to
dark,
we're not playing for anything this year, so if that would have been like in 2013 or 14, that would have been an absolutely brutal way to lose. But
you stop at Forestel and tie one on.
Forestel. Oh, man, is there a good watering hole there?
There's a good truck stop there.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah,
for next time. Well, we enjoy it. It's basketball season now.
Yeah, I mentally moved on to basketball season after the Kansas State loss. I was already looking at Cleveland State.
Little anecdote for you. I got to meet Dennis Gates a few weeks ago at the Tiger welcoming Lou Ellen's deal they have there, which anybody can go to. But he was a very charismatic guy, and I asked, who's the gym rat? Who's the guy we want to root for in this team? And he said Sean East has spent more time in the gym than any player he's ever been around in his entire career.
I believe Sean East. No, I'm thinking of Hodge. One of them was the JUCO Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, that was Sean East.
That was Sean East, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a kid I'm
Nick
looking
Honor
forward to seeing.
is the guy who's going to start. He's a transfer from Clemson, but
the point guard.
From what I've heard, it's Sean East's position to earn. He's got if he plays as well as he can, he'll earn.
We'll welcome as many ball handlers as we possibly can.
Shooting, ball handlers need some size. Someone's got to squeeze the orange. I mean,
if you put a little press on that team last year, it was
kind of melted.
I've never seen anything like it.
Well, maybe Sean East will be the next Jerry West. See what I did there with directions?
That is sick. Nice job, Doug.
I'm going to leave on a high note.
Yeah, James, always appreciate you, sir, for your sponsorship of the segment, and just for you in general. You're a wonderful human.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're a wonderful human being.
We're really buttering up our sponsor down at Tim is in here. Please.
Tamp it down with the party in just a little bit when you go to these games.
Yeah, you don't have to drink so much.
Yeah.
Nice job, James.
All right, James. Thank you.
Oh, you want your water? Is that your water?
Oh, yeah, get the water.
Look at that.
Carlton.
Oh, my God.
You can send Iggy in it on your way out if you see him. Thanks, brother.
We forgot about Iggy.
Here comes Iggy Strode, back and better than ever. While Iggy sits down, we can talk about the wonderful people at Engineered Design Facilities. They, of course, sponsor the text line. And let's hear a little bit about EDF.
EDF's fire division, now testing, inspecting, and maintaining the fire system on all commercial kitchen and restaurant hoods. EDF can handle all of your company's security and surveillance needs, from surveillance cameras to access card readers to facial recognition software and everything in between. If you have visibility to your company or place of business's commercial fire alarm panel and system, email fire@edf-rg.com, and they will have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com. That's engineered, designed facilities.
Nice edit there again, right?
I'd like a little gentler edit.
It was so seamless.
Yeah. Well, you know what's seamless?
No.
Is when you take your car to Dents Express and they fix that.
You won't see any seams. If you got hit, you got a little banged up there and there's seams in your car, they'll take the seams right out of there. Also, minor dents and dings, that's what they do at Dents Express. They specialize in minor body damage of your car. They're great with hail damage. They'll do cosmetic wheel repair on your car, anything to make your car look almost like it's brand new. 2 locations, of course. They're on Manchester Road in West County, about a mile west of 270, and they're on Hughes Lane out in St. Charles. Dents Express is a family-owned and operated business by the Wilson family. Go see Gray Wilson. You go see Gray, it'll make your day. They will take excellent care of you, as they have done with us. Even the folks at St. Louis Acura, which is very close to Dents Express, they take some of those cars over to Dents Express because they know what a fabulous job they do, and they'll make your car looking brand new. Mention TMA, and they'll take another 10% off the price. Do they have a website? Of course. Surprised you'd ask. They do. It's dentsexpressstl.com for more information. Got a great waiting room there. A lot of times they can fix your car. Since they do it without painting most repairs, they do that paintless dent repair. A lot of times you can wait right there and they'll fix it and you'll be on the way in 30 minutes or less. If your car is a dimpled mess, you go to Dents Express and go see Gray. It'll make your day.
That's Dents Express. This is the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. We got the designer heating and cooling email today coming up. But Too Fat to Kayak says, Fidel's dad weekend in Columbia, the Sky Bar at Harpo's was hopping.
Oh, was it really? Ooh. The Sky Bar at Harpo's.
That's patio, the patio
roof?
up top.
Oh, yeah, I've
rooftop.
been on that roof.
Yeah, I bet for a dad's weekend or two.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll go up there just on my own.
Right.
Show
Dance
myself
by
off.
yourself.
Yeah.
You've been up there on like a Tuesday afternoon.
A lot of the sorority girls insist on it.
Right, because you are
I'm
eye
busy.
candy.
Yeah, I'm busy. They'll say, you've got to come up. You've got to come up here. We're having a big sorority party.
Right. You say, I'm back TV full time. I can't make it.
Well, yeah.
Somehow
I squeeze it all in.
I'm doing a live shot of the national championship game out in the parking lot.
Right.
You know where you should go today?
No, where?
Because I love to cross-promote.
Dr. Biondo's office?
No, today is actually the 55th birthday of Keishi.
Wow.
Today.
Oh, this is the day.
Yeah, and they're all doing their shows from all the Keishi shows are going to be at Helen Fitzgerald's today.
Oh, that's right by my crib.
The place is packed from open to close. There's cars everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
every
insane.
day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Tuesday at 11.
I know.
Today will be packed. I'm gonna go.
You're going on support.
Yeah, Learn's doing 2 to 6, obviously, but Mark Close's band, Close Quarters, is playing
But
from
you'll
3 to
be there
6.
2 to 6, probably 1:45 to 6:30.
No, I'm going to go see Mark Close's band, too. They're playing 3 to 6.
He's got a band?
Yeah.
What's he play?
Close Quarters. I think Mark is the drummer.
Is he?
Is that the Cyberg's family, Helen's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cyberg's fire as all fire.
They've got it figured out.
Holy dear mother, I love that place.
I
know they're not a sponsor.
I think Marty was telling me a lot of the food specials are 55% off.
Nice.
Let's go.
So, and I'll sign, so I'll come out.
You will sign.
A non-Keishi employee.
There's not one Keishi listener, if I walk in there, would know who I would. Maybe Becky Kohler would know. Mark the pharmacist knows who I am, but other than that.
Who's Mark the pharmacist?
Long-time Keishi listener.
He's dispensing a lot of pills.
People know the listeners?
Especially to that
I guess,
listener.
people know our listeners, I guess.
Well, he follows me, and she follows me,
And they're big fans, I'm sure. They'll be brokenhearted if you don't show up.
You informed them about Matt Holliday as the bench coach.
But they know who I am. But,
Oh, yeah. We don't have to talk about that.
So, yeah.
I don't even know. What do you say about Matt Holliday? Like, it's great. Love having Matt the Bat back in town.
Yeah.
Why would he take that job?
Why not?
I think he wants to be a major league manager.
Right.
But the thing is, he won't get that job probably in St. Louis unless the Cardinals are really bad for a couple of years. That's what it would take for Marmol to get fired. Although we just saw
Mike Schill
Schill
had
put
it
together
all.
3 good years, but that's the exception. That's not the rule.
Yeah.
I know it's never came out at the case. This is all, hearsay. But the fact that he potentially got fired because he didn't want to start Paul DeYoung at shortstop, again, that was just rumors, and that was just maybe won a part of the fight, but it wasn't the total end-all, be-all. But from what I know, that could be the situation with Schill. So, like, anybody can get fired on that team, I guess, at any time. Because that was a dude who did not deserve to lose his job. Just absolutely did not deserve to lose his job.
I agree with that completely.
Well, if Holliday wants to be a manager and he wants to be a Cardinal manager, he's got the perfect job. The last 3 Cardinal managers have had no experience as a manager, so he's in perfect line.
Thank you. I think I'm with Iggy. I think this is the team you get your first chance at.
I think his career path is more likely to be that of Skip Schumacher, where you spend a year or 2 here, and if things go well, you find yourself a manager somewhere else.
Right. And Matt Holliday was, at his prime, one of the best players in Major League Baseball. So I think that with some experience on the bench in St. Louis, he will be a hot commodity for teams in the next couple of years, and it most likely will not be the Cardinals.
There's not very many superstar players who make good managers. There's only a handful of really quality Major League players who are managers.
They're all mediocre. Tony La Russa, mediocre.
Well, he was less than that. He only had like a cup of coffee. And they had to bring him up because he was a bonus baby. Back then, if you paid so much money for your early draft picks, they had to get right to the major league. So there was a lot of guys who got up when they were 18 or 19 years old and never really made it much beyond that.
And some were good. I mean, Joe Girardi wasn't a superstar.
No.
Good.
Joe Torre was close to a superstar player.
Aaron Boone has some really good moments with Cincy, and obviously that home run with the Yankees.
Yeah.
He has some, he's
but no superstar by any means. Dusty Baker was might have made an all-star team or 2.
Don Mattingly.
Mattingly's an exception. Yeah, he was a good player.
Red Shandies.
Joe Torre was a good player.
You're going way back now.
Joe Torre was a good player.
I'm allowed to.
Torre was a good player.
He was an outstanding player. Right. Yeah, he was one of the he and Mattingly are the big exceptions at the moment. But there's been people like Ted Williams try to manage and not have much success at all. And a lot of times they say that the superstars don't really understand how the other guys can't do what they did.
Right, and
they get frustrated by it.
Quick.
We understand, though. We could be managers.
We could be skippers. We definitely, because we were lousy players.
Right. Or we just buy the team and then run it.
Ron Sandberg wanted to be a manager for so long.
So long.
Never really got the shot.
So cool. No, I thought he did, and just didn't he get the shot in Philadelphia, right?
Because he was a Philly minor league manager for like 10 years.
Yeah, I don't think he got a major league shot, did he?
I don't think he was one of the.
How was that possible? I thought for sure.
I think he finally just gave up. Said, "Look, I've been toiling down here forever. And you keep putting people in there other than me."
He interviewed here even for one of the openings.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why.
Well, if they feel like you don't have the ability to interact with the media a lot. Before every game, after every game, take the criticism, be willing to do interview after interview after interview, then that's a big chunk of the job now.
Dude, he quit. It looks like he was the Phillies manager. 5 years ago today, Sandberg quit, exiting stage left, the club that sported the worst record, 26-48.
Speaking of interviews, there was some nice interview moments after the Astros won the World Series. They were doing... to me, Doug, you're a sports news guy, so you know better than I. But anytime you're doing a live shot with crowd reactions right after a game, you're opening yourself up for some issues.
Sure.
So here's a live shot interview right after the Astros won the World Series with a fan.
All right.
Exactly. Hey, what do you have to say to everyone who still considers the Astros cheaters?
Y'all.
Well, all right.
Oh, no. And then.
We stopped doing those kind of interviews at Channel 4 because the station can be sued, even if someone else says that on your air, and you knew that was a possibility. Yeah. So they stopped doing those middle of the crowd of the bar interviews.
There's a good one with Art Holliday interviewing Vince Coleman.
Oh, he's wasted.
I think he dropped the F-bomb. He's just wasted. And, it was a great game. I think he dropped an F-bomb.
And then Justin Verlander's wife, the great Kate Upton, was interviewed on the field after the game, and she had some choice words.
Of course. Why wouldn't you interview her?
It must have bothered him to not have a World Series win, and now that he has one, has he? What's that been like for the two of you to experience that together?
I honestly don't know his opinion on that, but for me...
Okay, for you.
Yeah, but for me, I'm so happy that he has it, but honestly, he's such a legend. Who f***ing cares?
You win a World Series, and you let the expletives just fly.
Well, that's what you get for a stupid question.
Yeah, that was a stupid question. As if he's worth $200 million, she's worth $300 million.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you got almost a quarter or a half a billion combined. I get money doesn't buy everything, but who gives a rat's a about a title at that point? Do you think it really is itching? And
it's just a media narrative.
It's
oh,
just
look,
a
we
narrative.
found a stat. Here's one of the great pitchers of all time, a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he hasn't got a World Series victory.
Sitting on his yacht, dating an absolute supermodel, and you think in his mind goes, man, I wish I
had a lousy career.
How do you two feel?
The dude doesn't
Have you
care.
seen what I look like naked? Do you think he cares about a ring? He's got this every night.
Yeah,
Flip that off.
it's not like he's been a journeyman. He's been a 3-time Cy Young, 2-time Cy Young winner.
3-time World Series champion, though.
Have we seen him naked, too?
We have. We have. And it was
Oh,
fun.
man, yeah, WikiLeaks.
He could pass for being 50 years old, couldn't he?
Easy.
Yeah.
It
He's
feels
still
like he's
so
50.
good.
Now, what is he, 60?
No.
Why would he pass for 50?
I said he looks like he could be that old. He's what, late 30s?
Really? I don't think he looks that old. He looks like he's in great shape.
Oh, he's in great shape, but his head looks like the head of a 50-year-old gentleman.
39. He'll be 40 on February 20th.
And he's doing
what should we do for his birthday?
He's doing the Wainwright thing, which I love. Just 1 year, $20 million deals every year, just making $25 million.
The difference is he's going to win the Cy Young.
And still a power pitcher at that age.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that he
Yeah.
And I guess how old was Jamie Moyer when he retired? Not as
Like
fancy.
47 or so. Well, so was Nolan Ryan, and he was still a power pitcher also.
That's unbelievable to pitch that. It's crazy enough that Tom Brady still plays football at 44 or whatever he is, but to pitch that long and put your shoulder through that,
Dude, Julio Franco was in the batter box at 50, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't he 49?
Manny
at the
Minoso
Met?
got an at bat when he was 60 or
How old was
something.
Ken Griffey Sr.? Because, when you're playing with your son.
I don't think he got a bat. They signed him to a contract.
No, he got an at bat with Chicago, and I think he got a base hit to left.
Gordie Howe was
He was 60-something.
Yeah. I'm sure there's video of him getting a base hit. Harry Carey was calling. I don't know that he was 60. He might have been in his 50s.
Gordie Howe was 60
But he was
when he
old.
played his last season. I think.
Hypothetical. You step in the batter's box, real Major League Baseball game. What percentage do you think you get a foul tip? Just make contact with the baseball.
0. I wouldn't hit a ball.
0.
0%.
I wouldn't hit.
No, there's no way I could get around on it.
No.
I could bunt it.
But would you do that? Would what happens if you mess that up?
Probably
It's really gonna hurt.
I would just start swinging right as he doing
starts
his
to wind
wind up.
up.
Yeah, I'm already in my swinging motion.
I would pay a lot of money to see just local medias of teams go out there and try to hit some of these pitchers.
Just trashing Paul DeYoung. He's a
Oh,
terrible player, and then gets in the box.
and you got to face some chin music.
You have no idea how fast that ball's coming in until you're standing there. It looks rather easy on TV, but when you're standing there, it's, gee, man, he had the ball in his hand, and less than a second later, the catcher's already throwing it back to him.
I've seen they do a catcher will wear a GoPro on their head.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll show what it looks like from the batter's box,
Yeah.
and you can't even see a seam on the baseball. I don't know how these guys go up there and actually. So when we're crushing Paul Goldschmidt for going over in the playoffs, I don't think any of us could even make contact.
No, I was ecstatic one year. We were playing the Media All-Stars. We had a team that we put together, and we played.
Media All-Stars.
There was a team of us.
Full athletes.
Actually, I think Callahan put this together every year. One year we played the Rams after they won the Super Bowl.
In football?
No, in softball. And
Rick
I forgot who we were playing. It might have been the Rams again one year. But they brought in this stud fast pitch softball pitcher, some girl from maybe Team USA. And I said, come on, can you just throw a medium ball to me here? And she said, okay, I'll make it slow. And it was, whew.
You can't begin to hit that.
Didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And then I was ecstatic that I took a swing one time and I got it off the tip of the bat. And it rolled 2 feet. Yeah. And I said, "Ooh, I actually touched it." And the next one was just right by me. The ball was in the catcher's mitt when I put my leg up to swing.
Dude, women's softball, being an infielder, is absolutely got to be brutal.
Dangerous.
They look like they're 5 feet. Have you seen the dimensions of
It's considerably smaller.
It's insane how close they are to the batter.
Oh, the pitcher, yeah. I thought you said infielder.
No, I'm telling you, dude, the third baseman and infielders, it is you have no time to react to ground balls. At least in baseball, you have time to even hit your glove.
I think softball, they should move the rubber back a little bit. Would it kill the game if there was more balls put in play?
It's really
Is it really that
dangerous.
great to see the pitcher strike out 15 people every time there's a good hurler on the mound?
Well, it's either a 15-0 game or a 2-0 game. It's like those are the two games that you get.
I was playing second base, and it was either Warner, Isaac Bruce, somebody, I don't know, maybe Ricky Prohl. Why don't I just name the whole roster?
Arguing with yourself.
But somebody hit like a one-hopper to me at second base. And I fielded it, and they weren't running it out. I said, I'm not throwing it till you run it. I said, come on, go. You got to run.
You're
taunting the Rams players.
Future Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
You're
showing your glove.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Warner, how about you put some effort in
I said, I'm not throwing it till you run. We'll be here all day. You got to run it out. So they start to run. Right before I got to first base, I threw it to Claiborne. He dropped it. And he was
Once
safe.
again, an assault on Claiborne
He was
comes
playing
across
first
these
base,
airwaves.
and I'm holding these. Okay, and I lobbed it
Maybe
over.
that's the beginning of when you two got signed.
I lobbed it over to Claiborne. He just dropped it.
What did Claves do to you to make you're just going
Nothing.
after him?
I'm telling a story. He just happened to be the first baseman.
Would Iggy's bones
It could have been
disintegrate?
anybody.
Would Iggy's bones disintegrate if he connected on a bunt from a 98-mile-per-hour fastball?
Probably. Yeah, my hands would fall off and my arms would like be bent.
I'm just imagining you in baseball
I would
pants,
drop the bat.
stirrups.
I would get ready, then I just drop the bat.
Yeah, I would throw it at it. Oh, man. All right, we got the design here. Heating and cooling email today just in a moment. But first, Plowsy, if I could, a little bit about Stratum Structural System.
It got a seamless edit, I'm
good edit,
sure.
I hope.
Stratum Structural Systems, the great Matt Ford, the great Brett Groman, Stratum Structural System, dealing with water damage, foundation, piering issues. Make sure you are now dealing with Stratum Structural Systems. Who I use, we had a water issue in those storms in early August and immediately got on the phone with Matt Ford and Brett Groman, and they immediately took care of it. They're the best. Word of mouth in St. Louis going around that Stratum is the company you do business with. 314-620-8153. 314-620-8153. And when you work with them, let them know you're a TMA listener and you get $100 off your repair project online at stratumrepair.com. They're local. Think local. Think Stratum.
I think that was good. I think that was really good.
Best one yet.
Gold star, Plowsy. All right, it is time for Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. I let a lot through today, so.
Oh, no.
I was
There's no
filtering
filter?
while hosting, and that's tough.
Well, you have to filter. You have to do it on the fly.
And Young. Hey, guys, don't let Boots take that laptop home. He's 100% going to unwittingly give his Social Security and bank information to Saudi princess who's been held hostage by Bowser in the Lebanese castle. Actually, it'll probably an email from me that winds up duping him, so let's stick a pin in that idea. Thanks. That's from #1 Asian intern Brian Henshin, a.k.a. Linda Casserole, one of two KC listeners Wrinkle knows. Sign up now and receive early access to that tearfully whispered get well video I made for Tim.
Brian Henshin.
Why would a laptop cost me to do that? I have email on my phone. I have email on my desktop. Why would a laptop force me to do that?
I just read what's in the prompter.
Just prompter reading's all this is.
Terrible email.
Ahoy! Morning, boys. So many white hot takes singed me boy ear holes. Even sans Tim. This ma'am, I mean. Speaking of that, ass-eating season is upon us, and I, for one, have been working overtime on me man-tongue exercises, just getting good and ready to toss low so much salad. Homeboy is looking forward to running in the Lazio, giving me a boy mouth workout. So get those dumpers cleaned and ready for a licking.
No.
How do you do?
How did that get through?
Concerns, thoughts, no fooling.
Lefty Jack smear.
Lefty Jackson.
I
You read this
recognize the
before?
writing style. I recognize his style.
I roll for 2.
Lefty Jack smear.
Pressure on Sam Horn next year? Look no further than Jackson's performance today, sitting in for Tim to see how to handle it. He was cool as the other side of the pillow. Started off strong and didn't slow down. When he started to sweat, he used that moisture to his advantage and slid on in. When needed, he used his hands to flip things upside down. And then when it got hard, he played hard. Oh, wait a minute. That's my email about Doug's hog. That comes from, the first name is Kareem. The last name is Pants. And the middle name is N.
Kareem.
I think he's on a tape delay.
What's the N at the end, though? Kareem my pants in.
I think
the
Poops
middle
is
name
how he
is N.
pronounces it.
The middle name is N.
Pence.
Oh, okay. No, not
Hunter Pence.
Yeah, Hunter Pants.
Not bad, Miller. Your name is better than the email.
Oh, man. My weekend road trip to Memphis began Saturday morning. Getting myself the Plowsy treatment, got a package of them white parrot donuts and a large coffee. Around Arkansas line, it hit me. I had to drop due and quick. Pulled into a gas station, asked the worker where the restrooms were. Point to the building behind the station. He instructed me to use the women's room because the men's was out of order. First thought, Plowsy, I was bustling that butt paint all over the porcelain like Van Gogh. The mud goose was loose.
No.
A knock on the door, my heart sank. I heard, gonna be much longer. A half roll of TP and 3 flushes later, streaks remained with a skunked-out smell. Opening the door, I saw a horrified eye. I muttered, oopsie. Now I stand in arms with Plowsy. No toilet is safe, no toilet is clean. So coy and oh so bulged. That's from SEMO Alum 2.0.
SEMO Alum 2.0.
Barb. Some people call her Old Babs, but I call her Sweet Cheeks on account of her juicy turd cutter. She's built like Dog the Bunny Hatter and dresses like Ellen DeGeneres. I'd give anything to be her Anne Heche. Her muscles, her glutes, her thick haunches led up to a cute little muffin top. Barb is no angel. Her past is dark, but has given her a special, dangerous vibe. You just never know what's going on in her mind. She can discuss an Eli Drinkwitz contract extension just as easily as she can talk about Roadkill or European swimsuits. Barb struts around with an unrivaled swagger, like a confident 65-year-old man walking out of a ladies' salon after he just paid $150 for a cut and color from Marine. Sure, her face is a 4, but Barb's rack's a 10. Think Bo Derek's body with Rod Stewart's face. And Barb will be even hotter when the transition is fully complete, and you can see her nuts bulging out of her Speedo.
Okay.
I'd give anything to meet her in a hot tub at Stroh Family Game Night. Stay cute, boys. That's from the JV golf coach, a proud EIU Panther alumnus.
JV golf coach, proud Panther alumnus.
She won't be at any of our game nights, trust me.
Hey guys, did you see the gentleman seeking vasectomy advice on the fan page this weekend? If you ever find me seeking medical advice from a pack of C-cup sporting Hoosiers on the internet, you have my permission to take me out back behind the barn like old Yeller. Thanks. It's from Dogtown Tie.
Dogtown Tie.
Over the weekend, I tried to join an underground gerbil racing club in Huntley, but I was quickly rejected. The doorkeeper said I had too much St. Charles in me. I let the doorman know I wasn't from St. Charles. He replied, "You literally have too much St. Charles in you." I realized he was referring to my boyfriend Simon, who had entered me from behind while waiting in line.
Oh, come on!
As soon as Simon pulled out, I was granted access to the Chervil Club. I saw Mr. Licks there, so I thought maybe he was running in money circles, but he was actually catering the event. It was not good. Got a scoot. That's from Doug's microphone.
Bad. Doug's microphone shatter.
And finally, as a Hall of Famer and career intern, I often get the question alongside autograph requests. Do I need to be the center of attention? Absolutely not. I like to be the center of attention. I enjoy being the center of attention, but it's not the compulsive need to insert myself into the spotlight. For instance, I'm planning to go around my office today, aggressively asking all my coworkers if they're okay if I walk around the office videotaping them for a Facebook Live that absolutely no one asked for, since I'm behind on my plugs for a fish company that specializes in butter-basted creek cod. Let me record you so my fan page friends think I'm cool, or next time I see you in the hall, I'm going to pin you. No.
No, don't keep reading.
If young Ken don't trust you, I'm not going to let you pass me in the hallway. Thanks. That's from Faith, Character, Core Values, and Team First.
Okay.
Well, you know what, buddy? You ruined it for everybody. I'm not going to do it now.
Now you've ruined it.
Yeah, you can all blame faith, character, core values, and SAG.
I guess that comes from Spags.
Whatever. You can all blame him because he said nobody asked for it, so I'm not going to do it. How about that?
That's what we got for the design there. Heating, cool.
Well, there's not a lot to pick from. There's not a lot of it.
The
was
reads were
vile.
bad. Let's be honest.
No, it wasn't the reads. It was the content.
Yeah, the content wasn't good.
Reads were no good.
I don't know which way to go. I guess Kareem in dim pants. Kareem dim pants.
Kareem in pants.
Oh, I thought it was Pence.
I mean, I giggled a little bit when it was the one that said St. Charles in you. He entered me from behind.
That's
That was vile.
Doug's microphone.
I'll go with microphone
Vileness.
shadow.
You know what? I kind of liked Mr. Pants, Kareem in Pants.
Oh.
You have won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email. That was,
Well,
of
all
course,
right.
Kevin Miller, so he gets his first win on the board. And if he wants to go three months in a row, this is the kind of month he's getting.
And this month's a big month because the winner's going to get a personalized autographed copy of Maitland Ward's book.
Oh, so so Maitland Ward signed Maitland Ward book. We were wondering what it was when you were on a smoke break.
Yeah, I have to just send Brian, the winner, and what name you want on the autograph, and she will personalize it to the winner and send you a book.
That's awesome. Well, thank you to Iggy for taking care of that. That's going to close out our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. You can catch the game in the Pint in one of the 2 locations in Sunset Hills and downtown. Balloon Party will be
Who cares? You're not on it.
Right. So Randy and Carrie will either do it, or BK and Ferrari will start early. I'm not sure, but that will be over on 101 ESPN. Then Pepper and Jeannie. I'm going to join you boys if I'm allowed. If I'm
Sure you are.
All right.
Doug, you can sit in too.
Yeah, I'm going to hit up the car.
I have a phone call.
Yeah, Doug's got a phone call.
So do I. So maybe.
So that's
I'll
coming up,
Jackson.
and then we'll be back tomorrow for some more delicious hot takes.
Hopefully
and-
Tim's back tomorrow. Hope he feels
Yeah, I
better.
hope he feels better. I hope Tim feels better. And we'll catch all of you tomorrow out there in St. Louis. For Douglas Elvin Vaughn, for Ken Iggy Strode, for Darren the Plowhawk Atkins, for Tim McKernan, I am Action Jackson. That's going to do it for the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM, HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Your home for the morning after and TMA all day.